That. Then we're going to delve a little deeper into this destination by chatting to the director of the Shamal Travel and Tours Agency, Ajmal Tincowree, to find out why this location is so attractive.
I mean, just look at it.
Now people are moving from all over the world to base themselves in Mauritius to work there. I don't know why. Look at that. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's so terrible. I would not want to wake up there every single day. Then, of course, you can't explore a destination without tasting its cuisine. So we get to create a Gateaux Piments, which is actually a Mauritian Chilli Fritters, and it's going to be made in the kitchen, and I had to practice that word for the longest time. Gateaux Piments. I think I'm actually butchering it.
You just got to say it fast. Well, we'll butcher them. They'll go straight in the mouth, and we shall butcher them. I love a chili bite. Hopefully you do too. We've got an amazing lineup, of course, a little bit of entertainment as well, and we'll hopefully bring you up to speed with all of the news and current affairs that you have to know. And most importantly, we'll connect with you in real time on social media. Let's do that right now, in fact, with my other gorgeous colleague. Good morning, Zozo. How are you doing?
Oh, thanks, G-Man. You're like the thorn amongst the roses today. Well, it is good to be with you on your Tuesday morning. I hope you have your breakfast ready or perhaps your coffee cup as we get the day going. And this is the part where we love to connect with you on social media. And we have a question inspired by that trip to Mauritius. We want to know from you, if you could choose one person to join you on a holiday to Mauritius, who would it be? I mean, Jamie just said me. So yeah, I'll consider taking Jamie. If I had to go on a holiday right now, it will definitely have to be one of my best friends. I don't know how I'll only be able to choose one, but definitely a girlfriend. How about you? Let us know, and don't forget that hashtag Expresso Show.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Well, let's get you up to date with what's happening in and around the world, starting with those national news. Now, Eskom has an agreement with the city of Cape Town not to implement load shedding to the City Hall for SONA. That's the State of the Nation address on Thursday. Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter says there will be no load shedding in the City Hall precinct for President Cyril Ramaphosa's address. Now, this year's SONA will be held in the Cape Town City Hall for the first time ever. De Ruyter couldn't guarantee that the rest of the country would have power on Thursday for the president's address. Then staying on the local front, the Ekurhuleni Emergency and Disaster Management Services and police divers have mobilized more resources to continue the search for a missing Uber driver and 2 passengers south of Pretoria. They presumably drowned when the vehicle they were traveling in was swept off a bridge at Olifantsfontein on Saturday morning by flood waters. Ekurhuleni Metro Councillor Derek Thompson says the bridge from where the car was swept is extremely low and notorious for flooding. He also added that one doesn't see the water in time as debris coming down the river blocks the bridge. Then looking to news further abroad, Senegal's soccer team have been given a hero's welcome upon their return home after winning the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time. Tens of thousands of people gathered to welcome the players, landing in Dakar with a trophy, and President Macky Sall was also present to greet them. The celebrations began straight after the final whistle on Sunday night, and people poured onto the streets of Dakar, dancing and firing fireworks into the air. Monday has been declared a national holiday in Senegal. Then the mayor of Canada's capital, Ottawa, Jim Watson, has declared a state of emergency in response to more than a week of truckers' protests against COVID-19 restrictions. Watson said the protests posed a threat to residents' safety. Ottawa's centre has been paralysed with vehicles and tents blocking roads. The so-called Freedom Convoy was sparked by the introduction last month of a new rule that all truckers must be vaccinated to cross the US-Canada border, but the protests had morphed into broader challenges to COVID health restrictions. And then a paralyzed man with a severed spinal cord is walking again, thanks to an implant developed by a team of Swiss doctors and researchers. Michael Ricotti, an Italian, was paralyzed in a motorbike accident. His spinal cord was completely severed and he had no feelings in his legs, but he can now walk freely due to an electrical implant that has been surgically attached to his spine. It's the first time someone whose spinal cord had been completely severed is able to walk again. Professor Jocelyn Block the neurosurgeon who inserted the implant and expertly attached electrodes to individual nerve fibers, said his recovery pace had amazed him. The technology alone didn't drive his recovery. He was determined to walk again. She stressed that this isn't a cure for spinal injury, but hails it nonetheless as a major step towards improving quality of life. Mikhail Rakati said, and I quote, "I can now stand up, walk where I want to. I'm almost leading a normal life." The research has been published in the Journal of Nature Medicine. On that good note, that is where I leave your 6 o'clock news headlines. We will be back on the top of the hour with more of that. But right now, Graham is standing by with the first look at the sports.
Let's kick it off with cricket this morning. Mixed reactions to this one. Proteas woman all-rounder Annika Bush has sadly been ruled out of the upcoming ICC Women's Cricket World Cup, that due to injury. Now, Bush, who was named as part of the travelling reserves, misses out after fracturing her right thumb. The 28-year-old will be replaced by top-order batter Andri Steyn. Certainly earned her berth. That's in the 18-man travelling squad. Steyn, who scored a half-century to help South Africa secure a 6-wicket victory and series win against the West Indies. She'll be being a part of that 3 travelling reserves as well. Certainly wish the ladies well. Then staying with cricketing news, but bringing it back home, the Warriors got their CSA T20 Challenge campaign off to the perfect start after an 8-run win over pre-tournament favourites, the Titans. So the Warriors set their opponents 164 runs to win after Riaan Manser and Tristan Stubbs scored 56 and 51 respectively. Manser capping a good all-round performance, in fact taking 2 wickets with the ball, as well as the Titans were only able to post 155 for 8 in the chase. In Western Province Blitz, they kicked off the tournament with a 6-wicket win over the Paarl Rocks. Richard Levy, he smashed 67 from just 39 balls as the Blitz chased down their target of 143 with 3 overs still to spare. Then earlier, Bjorn Hendricks and George Linder both took 2 wickets each. Then on to footballing action. It's back again tonight, and really interesting after the transfer window. So Man United, they'll be looking to bounce back from their shock FA Cup exit at the hands of Middlesbrough. That's when they face strugglers Burnley in one of 3 Premier League matches tonight. All really important fixtures. Now the Clarets are bottom of the table, 3 points from safety, but do still have a number of games in hand on their rivals. And United, meanwhile, they'll look for their 3rd consecutive win on the trot, and Frank Lampard then takes charge of his first league match. That's at Everton when the Toffees travel to Newcastle. Of course, the Magpies have invested heavily in the January transfer window. They'll be hoping to move out of 19th spot on the table. And it's a massive day at the bottom of the table, in fact, as the 18th placed Watford, they'll be up against West Ham. The Hornets are level on points at the moment with Newcastle, while West Ham, they have the opportunity to leapfrog, moving up into 4th position. That, of course, depends on United's results. And speaking of Manchester United, not the best news off the pitch. Footballer Mason Greenwood has now been dropped officially by sportswear giant Nike following his arrest on suspicion of rape. The 20-year-old was also arrested on suspicion of assault and then later on suspicion of sexual assault and making threats to kill. The forward was later released on bail by Greater Manchester Police. Nike previously said it had suspended its relationship with him, but the company has now officially ended it. Well, if you missed any of those details, we'll touch on them again at 7 o'clock this morning. But bright-eyed and bushy-tailed someone is standing by to take a look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures and give us the latest on the weather front. It's over to Tubbs.
Thank you very much, G-Man. A first look at your weather, but first we're going to take a look at those sunrise pictures. We always ask you to send through some of the KZN North Coast beaches that were closed. Of course, we know that after that shock safety gear was removed last week, were reopened yesterday. Good news. The KwaDukuza municipality said that the KZN Sharks board stated that they had started redeploying their nets following the precautionary closure of beaches last week in anticipation of rough weather and cyclone Batsarai. Now, KwaDukuza Tukuza spokesperson Sipho Mkhize said that swimming is now only allowed at beaches where shark safety gear has been restored. And gear has been restored at the Thompson Bay and Balito, as well as at the Salt Rock. Meanwhile, a search has been launched for a mother and her young child who were swept away by the Voti River north of Durban. Lifeguards and a paramedics team are out there searching. The police divers are also taking part in the search. Witnesses say that the mother was trying to cross the fast-flowing river with her baby tied to her back, and heavy rain has caused havoc in some parts of KZN in the past week. Our thoughts and prayers are with that family, and we hope that they do find that pair. Now, from weather news to sunrise views, Louise G. Sherry from Val Dam kicks us off with this message. Good morning, Expresso family. What a beautiful start to the morning after all this rain, and of course that's accompanied by a beautiful, beautiful picture that looks like a wallpaper almost. And Neil Naidu from Westbrook out in Durban shared this beautiful and peaceful overcast morning overlooking the ocean as the sun breaks through the cloud over, casting that ray of light across the sky. Look at that. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And now we take a look at your temperatures across the country, starting off with Polokwane. Your low today is 17. You will reach a high of 29. If you're out in Mbombela, 20 is your low, reaching a high of 31. Pretoria, the capital city, your temps 19 and 28, with 40% thunder showers out in Johannesburg today. 17, that's your low, reaching a high of 26. Mahikeng, you will start off at 17 today, peaking at 31, with Klerksdorp coming in with some sun and clouds today. 16, that's your minimum, reaching a maximum of 30. Kimberley, 18, your low, reaching a high of 31, with Bloemfontein coming in with a low of 14 and a high of 29. If you're out in Richards Bay, 55% chance of rain out there. Ooh, Richards Bay, your temperatures 18, reaching a high of 30. And Pietermaritzburg will start off today at 16, peaking at 30 degrees. Durban, the warmest place to be, 20. That's your low, reaching a high of 29. Mthatha starts off at 16 and will peak at 33. If you're out in East London, 21. That's your low, reaching a high of 30. And Craddock comes in with a low of 17, reaching highs of 35. Gqeberha, your temps 16. That's your low, reaching a high of 27, with some sun out in George today. 16, reaching a high of 26. The mother city, Cape Town, sun and clouds, 17, your low, reaching a high of 26, with Worcester at 15, reaching a high of 37. Sutherland, 13, that's where you start off. You will peak at 31, with Uppington coming in with some sun and clouds today. Your low is 22. You will peak at a high of 35 degrees. Well, that's what we're looking like across the country. No matter what your weather is looking like in your part of the country, come on, it's a Wednesday. Tuesday. Be sure to make it a feel-good kind of Tuesday.
Indeed, it is not a Wednesday, it is a Tuesday, and it's also Tuesday. So you're going to help me choose my denims this morning. Now, we know that denims are one of the most versatile items, and I'm sure most of us own at least a pair or two. Now, what I love the most about Woolies jeans is that the fact that you get so many different fits and styles made for every body type. Now, we have the straight leg jean today, and it became quite popular in the late 1970s when slim-fitting jeans first made its appearance. Today, I'm going to be wearing one of these two straight leg jeans, but I need your help to choose because it is Tuesday. So option number one over here is this dark blue cropped high-rise straight leg jeans, which is a chic addition to any wardrobe. It features a button front and cool raw edge hems. So over there you can see, definitely feeling this one as well. And then option number two is a bit of a lighter blue cropped straight leg jeans. Also has a chic high-rise waist, frayed pockets and raw edge hems as well. So I think we're just feeling that raw edgy vibe today for this Tuesday. I'm going to pair it with this top. So it is, of course, up to you to decide and help me choose for this Tuesday. So please, what I want you to do is head on over to the Expresso social media pages to vote for your favorite pair of straight leg jeans. And all you have to do is comment on the poll post. Don't forget to include that hashtag styled by Woolies, and I will be dressed in the winning jeans for the rest of the show. So it is up to you, Mzansi, okay? Up to you.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Time to inspire you to explore the world and grow. The Matrics in Antarctica competition provided every single Matric student in South Africa with the opportunity to enter to become one of the 5 unbelievably lucky students to go on a 5-day scientific expedition, if you will, to Antarctica. Well, the study tour will be led by world-renowned explorer Riaan Manser and a distinguished team of professors from the University of Stellenbosch. Now, unfortunately, this year, the trip, I don't know how many times I've said unfortunately this year, but it has been postponed until November due to a COVID-19 outbreak in Antarctica, with the expedition going to Mauritius in the meantime. It's a tough life, man, but somebody's got to do it. Riaan, along with Stellenbosch lecturer Delisha Davids and one of the Matric winners, Annika Leroux, joins us in studio this morning.
Morning.
Guys, welcome.
Cheers, Graham.
You look great this morning. So vital and full of energy.
Shame, it's very kind of you to say. It's really, I don't know how you guys do it, eh?
Oh, buddy, you're the most positive human being I think that I've ever been lucky enough to interview. So I would imagine you're rolling with the punches, but a bit of a disappointment. I know how much you invest emotionally in this trip. You know what it does for the young'uns that you take with you. How disappointed are you that you're having to shift gears?
No, we were extremely disappointed. Firstly, people just assume, you know, that a guy like me is just so positive. It was devastating, Graham. We got the news. It was me never, ever giving up. And that Zoom call, didn't want the guys to go. I kept saying, but what can we do? Can we take another plane? What can we do?
I will row them there. I will row them there myself.
It was sort of that attitude. Eventually the guy said, Riaan, we got to go. And, you know, I knew I had to face all of them and tell them, you know, what's the solution. So it was very disappointing, but we found a solution.
Why is this so important to you? I've had the opportunity of interviewing some of the alumni, those that have come through this life-changing experience. Annika, you've got just the most amazing adventure awaiting. But what was the motivation to do this? Why take young people on some of the footsteps that you've
Graham, it's
done?
absolutely panning out for me. Hey, I'd love to be able to sit here and say that I knew exactly how I was going to feel and what was going to happen. You know, we've got people like Delisha who are absolutely changing the way these guys see the world. You know, I fulfill a small role, but it started basically because of this COVID-19 situation where I had to think out of the box. I wasn't allowed to travel. Everybody knows me for travel, and here I'm sitting at home twiddling my thumbs saying, what am I going to do? And I'd always wanted to do something with students. I thought it was going to be university students. And then it landed up being in the Matrics, and I'm so glad it is because we find gems like this.
Why are you a gem, Annika? What sets you apart? Now, I've got to say congratulations, because I know a lot of students are vying for this, and as I've said, it is life-changing. How do you feel knowing that you have the opportunity to work with this incredible human being, this amazing team, and embark on what will be a life-changing adventure?
I'm so excited. I think already part of the prize is just that Riaan is going with us. Such an amazing, and also Delisha, such amazing people, and I think they're going to play a big role in the learning parts of this experience.
Riaan will, definitely will. I love it. Delisha, why is something like this so important? Because you've clearly gone all in and you're backing this.
Absolutely.
And you will know what this means for your students. Why is this such an important, such an amazing opportunity, do you think?
Sure. I think, I mean, even for me, I have traveled a little bit, but going to Antarctica would be such an amazing experience. And I'm imagining, you know, setting my foot on that ice the first time. But I think in terms of, so I teach environmental education at Stellenbosch, and I suppose the experiential part of the learning is what I'm most interested in. It's being able to really see what climate change looks like by doing all of the experiments, but then feeling how it feels to really embody the experience. You know, you see and listen through all of your senses, and that's really how change works. It's not a lecturer standing in front of a class saying, this is what Antarctica looks like, and, you know, these are the factors that influence climate change. It is that visceral experience of feeling and seeing, and then taking that throughout your life, yeah. So, absolutely.
And if you come up against any conspiracy theorist naysayer, you can say, well, when I was in Antarctica last month, I happened to see, this is crazy. This is kind of thing that most people dream about their whole life. What are you most excited about at the prospect of doing something that literally a handful of people get to do?
I'm excited definitely for the adventure part of it. The camping, the swimming, all the scary but fun stuff. But also the learning part, because I've realized when I experience stuff firsthand, I truly make a change in my lifestyle. So I think experiencing maybe global warming and seeing what effects I've had will definitely have a big role in my experience.
It's going to be standing in front of the UN in like 2.5 months. I can feel it. I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, as a proud papa, as a proud worm, what do you hope that the youngsters will get out of it? In fact, everybody that's connected with us, because it's not just them that grow. You also seem to grow a huge amount through this.
No, of course I do. Please, man, it's all of us. You know, Delisha even plays it down. She's going to be a changed person. I think we're just all changed people. We all know we sometimes travel for the weekend to Paternoster and we come back different people, hey, Graham? So it's exactly that. How do we define it and say, do we make a change in Annika and the way she sees the world? The problem is, I think, in the world related to the environmental issue. And it comes from the academics, the students, and people like you who sometimes talk about it all day, is that we see it from different angles. And we don't understand that a girl from Khayelitsha and a boy from Sandton see this thing, the environment, totally differently, and we're saying solve it.
Yeah.
And how are we going to get into these minds to actually go into an academic space and actually say, these are the changes we're going to make? We don't need another activist in front of the UN, actually.
Yeah.
We don't. We need somebody who's going to change something.
Yeah, completely. I don't know if you heard that. You could have been going to Paternoster, but thankfully, it's Mauritius, then it's Antarctica. We'll take it. Guys, congratulations once again. I'm glad that we are getting the adventure going, regardless of the challenges, my brother. So congratulations on that. I'm going to ask them to stick around. We're going to chat a little bit more about the impending adventures. Lives will be changed, and an opportunity, I think, for all of us to take cognizance of where the world is right now. Yes, climate change is a thing.
Oh, thanks, G-Man. Oh, can you imagine going to Mauritius?
No,
Have you been to Mauritius?
I have been to Mauritius, but I can't imagine going to Mauritius now. We haven't traveled in such a long time that I don't know what traveling feels like anymore.
Well, listen, we'll have to fill our lives with other experiences,
Also
and
true.
something you can experience is Red and unlock more with Vodacom's Red plans and amazing giveaways. Vodacom has some amazing offers when switching to Vodacom Red plans.
It's really all of the excitement, you know, some real amazing deals when you switch to Red this month, such as if you switch to Red between the 7th of Feb and the 6th of March, right? That's a nice long break or period. You will unlock a free rugby jersey. Yes, that's right. You'll unlock it. You will get it. It'll be yours. Yes, that's right.
That sounds amazing. And you also stand a chance to win a tent to the Vodacom Red Father and Son campout. That's in March if you are a Red VIP member.
Look, take a look at this one. You can also get the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE 5G for 1,299 Rand per month for 24 months on a 10 gigs Red Core More data plan. I mean, that's an incredible deal.
Amazing,
That's a deal.
definitely.
That's a deal.
Now, we want to hear from you. Vodacom and Expresso wants you to experience Red and unlock a free jersey by giving away one of 3 Vodacom United Championship jerseys each week for the month of Feb. And all you have to do is reply to the competition post that is on our Facebook, our Twitter and Instagram, and tell us what are some of your favorite benefits from Vodacom Red VIP. And don't forget to include that hashtag Experience Red unlock more. And that competition will close on Thursday the 10th, so you have 2 days left, and those it will close at 10 a.m. and those T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
Good luck.
Switch to Red and unlock a free rugby jersey. Get this great Samsung deal for only 1,299 Rand per month. Further together, Vodacom.
Welcome back. You're still live with Expresso, and we're going to continue to be inspired right now. We mentioned a little bit earlier that the Matrics in Antarctica expedition has been postponed until November this year, but that it has now presented another opportunity for the competition winners and everyone else involved to explore a different part of the world in the meantime. Now, I think for most people, we see Mauritius as this ideal wonderland. It conjures up thoughts of idyllic beaches, pristine blue waters. I mean, just take a look at that. But little do we know the environmental issues the island faces right now, from water shortages and water pollution to endangered bird species, not to mention, of course, a recent oil spill that back in 2020, a Japanese vessel plowed into Mauritius's eastern coral reef, a major disaster. Now, Riaan, along with Stellenbosch lecturer Delisha Davids and one of the Matric winners, a very lucky Annika Leroux, join us in studio this morning. I mean, looking at the pictures of Mauritius, great. If you're going to go anywhere, go to Mauritius. It's beautiful, but it's become a bit of a litmus test for where the environment is right now. Why change lanes and why go to Mauritius?
Well, firstly, the crisis that we had, we didn't have Antarctica on the cards. So
Yeah.
I had to make a few phone calls, and it was to like British Airways who said, listen, we can help you. And those guys were able to give us a few destinations. I think one of them being Mauritius. I think with the COVID testing, we didn't want to go through that same pathway where we were going to get expelled again. That was the first reason, Graham.
I've been there, my man.
And then we wanted to find a place where we could sit with Annika and them, and Delisha, of course, having a classroom that she could say, listen, look at this. And I've told you about this, but look at this, you know, behind her. And you touch on things like the extinction of birds. We all know that dodo went extinct in Mauritius. Now, we don't want another bird to go extinct in Mauritius. The pink pigeon, the Mauritian kestrel, they're so endangered that we're talking about like a handful of breeding pairs.
Our generation will see it. Yeah.
Spot on. We hope not.
Yeah.
So we want Annika and them to look at this pink pigeon fluffing about in the trees and saying, what do I actually do about it? Not just going on honeymoon to Mauritius as a destination.
Delisha, as someone who plays around in the environmental space, who has to often conjure this image in the imagination of your students, to actually be there and have them experience this firsthand, but also to see the other side of it, because I'm sure most people's perceptions of Mauritius are exactly that, white beach, blue water, perfect world, but it's not the case. How important is it to have those firsthand experiences, and what do you think they're going to get out of that experience in Mauritius?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think so obviously having this additional destination is incredible because now you have 3 contexts of learning. So we first did Grootvadersbos, which is a Cape Nature Reserve, where we did some of the beginning experiments with the students, and now we can have Mauritius, and then in November we get Antarctica. And I still can't, you know, I'm pinching myself really. But I think it's, you know, these 3 different contexts in which the learning is happening, so 3 different classrooms per se. I think the most important thing is being able to see how environmental issues are handled differently in these contexts. I mean, we all have different political structures. The economics of the place is different. How we as humans interact with the biophysical space.
Is
absolutely
different, yeah.
And when we talk about the environment, really, we're not just talking about the biophysical stuff. It's not just about the birds, but it is our interaction with that. And I suppose I think that is probably the most important and the most exciting thing, because these 3 different destinations, that is a little bit of a microcosm of the entire globe, you know. So I think absolutely being able to see how these different contexts play out and being able to experience it firsthand is going to be the most important thing.
You're going to ruin her for life, though, because then next year you're going to be like, I need to go to Antarctica to show them this lesson. It's just not going to work without the snow. Annika, you get to go on 2 trips now this year, which is an added bonus. I've got to ask about your bigger picture, because you're very young, and I'm not saying like lock it down right now, but you seem very driven, and obviously that's been identified in you. What do you want to achieve? What's your long-term goal?
I don't think I want to put the environment as a goal. I think I rather want to incorporate it in my lifestyle. So I think if you take care of something, you care about something, then later on it shouldn't be a goal. It should rather be part of your lifestyle. It should be natural. It should be just flowing, and you shouldn't think about it. Later on, it should just flow out of you.
I think you chose the wrong person. She's not keen on the environment. So maybe you want to go.
But how's that thinking? How fresh is that? That we shouldn't be sitting here saying, I want to be the activist, I want to create a program. How backward am I trying to create a program that's environmentally focused when Annika's saying we should be sitting around talking about how our lifestyle saves the environment. That's
Should
what
be
we
all
should
of
be
us.
doing.
And it is. And right down to how we make choices as a consumer, what you buy, what earbuds you buy, things like that. It's lifestyle. So you had to answer the question, if saving the environment is a global problem, how do you think you can help? Can you paraphrase what you said?
So I submitted my project for the competition, and my idea was to implement glass into my community by collecting jars from local high schools in Paarl, and then taking these jars to a local soup kitchen, Magda Soup Kitchen, and Tannie Magda, she receives
Tannie Magda.
she receives food from different supermarkets, which is already packaged. So she has to remove the initial packaging and repackage it into smaller quantities to ensure that as many people as possible get food. So this glass jars would then be used to eliminate that repackaging, and she also wouldn't have to buy plastic packaging for the products, and that eliminates the plastic. And then the community receiving the food in the glass jars can return the jars to be refilled and used again.
Drops my please.
Cool, yeah.
Why do we even need you anymore, man? We are sorted. I'm so excited for what you're going to experience. I mean, we have literally seen, and Riaan can testify to the fact that it is life-changing. You're going to gain so much, you're going to learn so much, you're going to experience so much, and you're with a wonderful group of people. I think this goes to all of you, that you're going to have the most amazing 2022. Please, can it be that? If you come back and say you've cancelled and now you're going to Iceland or something, I'm not going to accept it. Now, please travel safely, enjoy it. Good luck. I know there's still a few challenges ahead, so face them bravely. But we're going to continue to explore beautiful Mauritius, because that's where they're going to explore, in an effort for us to learn more about our environment, and most importantly, how we interact with it.
Well, speaking of Mauritius, we love Mauritius, and so does the rest of the world. In fact, the destination took the top honors at last year's World Travel Award, clinching the title of Indian Ocean's leading wedding destination. Can you imagine getting married in Mauritius?
I've seen so many people get married in Mauritius that you do want to get married in Mauritius if you were ever going to get married. It's stunning.
That's right. And joining us via Zoom to tell us why Mauritius continues to be the must-visit location is Ajmal Tincowree, the director of Shamal Travels and Tours in Mauritius. Good morning, Ajmal.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
So good. Ajmal, are you dialing in from Mauritius this morning?
Yes. I'm here in the sun.
And I am not jealous at all. Not jealous whatsoever. I am jealous, very jealous.
Yeah, I heard how the weather is today there.
Man.
4 seasons in a day.
4 seasons in a day in Cape Town, but you've got the best of the weather all throughout the year. You've got to tell us, what is it about Mauritius that really does make it such a prime destination for South Africans? Why do we love it so much? Why does the world love it so much?
Well, Mauritius has always been very popular because of the, in comparison to South Africa, it's because of this political stability that we have. I mean, we don't have any major issues for the past, 30, 40 years. The cost of living is pretty reasonable. You can afford almost anything you want. Nothing is above budget. The properties here most of them are like really, really amazing. You can get really nice properties for really good prices, and everything is like just a hop away from the beach. You know, the benefits that you get, even if you travel or even if you settle down here, the benefits that you get in terms of taxation is very interesting. It's safe, it's affordable, and that's basically the main reasons why Mauritius will always be popular.
I love everything about that.
Me too.
Everything.
Safe and affordable. We want more bang for our buck, and it seems like Mauritius is that place. Now, Ajmal, I'm one of those people, I love going, on a real adventure. What are some of the paths less traveled in Mauritius for someone like me?
Well, the traditional route has always been the beach, and resorts and everything that's associated with it. I mean, this is pretty amazing. I mean, even we don't get sick of it. I mean, it's pretty. The beach that we have are amazing. But Mauritius also has a lot of nature, as you can see on the screen. I mean, you can find a lot of stuff inland. Yeah, the waterfalls, the forest, and all the chalets and all the different kind of ecotourism initiatives that are being done right now, mountains and all sorts of stuff. Now, cycling has taken quite a good popularity in Mauritius. A lot of companies are renting out bicycles that you can actually rent and cycle around where you're living. And there's all the boat trips that you can go to the islands outside the mainland. And all these islands have something extraordinary. You know, we have islands in the north, in the east, in the south. You can just choose one and make the most of it.
We've got a professional cyclist in the making here who's definitely going to be taking you up on all of those cycling offers the next time Zoe visits Mauritius. Wow.
Definitely.
So when it comes to planning a trip to Mauritius, okay, what's essential for planning? What are some of those do's, some of those don'ts when we are planning to come on the adventure of a lifetime, that side?
Well, the planning part is very easy. You know, now with the internet and all the information that's out there, and all the hotels and everybody desperate to get the customers in, so you have everything you need before you even come. So choose your hotel carefully. That's the main do. You know, just make sure you get something that's going to be, you know, along line what you're looking for. Make sure you choose your hotel, and if you're staying more than 5 nights in Mauritius, change hotels. Don't stay in the same, otherwise, you know, it's a bit pointless. You can change the area, you can change the location, and have a different experience altogether. And also take an inland experience, like I said, going to the forest, the chalets. Get a local SIM card because it's cheap. You get good data, and you can just drive around. Go for food. Go to the local markets. Mingle. These are the do's, and when I say don'ts. For the don'ts, I'd say the biggest don't in Mauritius, there's no major trap, there's no major issue that you'll encounter, but just don't get sucked in with the all-inclusive offer that the hotels sell you.
Amazing.
Once you get it, you become a couch potato. You'll end up staying in the hotel and never go out.
Oh, wow.
You can't spend all that money and go there and not go out and experience Mauritius. But Ajmal, I just wanted to know from you, we can't let you go without finding out how things are in the country after tropical cyclone Basarai.
Well, it's been 2 days of complete shutdown. Everybody had to stay home. Branches here and there. I mean, it was pretty bad for 2 days, but the country has developed its resilience over the years, and we got back on our feet within a day. So everything is back to normal. Airport is open. Everybody's back to work. So we're over it. No major incident to report, basically.
Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Ajmal. Hopefully see you in Mauritius pretty soon. I know that visiting Mauritius, there truly is nothing that can describe that feeling. So thanks for chatting to us.
My pleasure.
There we go. So much to see and so much to do. Tabiso, we need to plan that trip, but also make sure Mauritius is on your bucket list of experiences. You will not regret it.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Tuesday. As, of course, we know it's the month of love, and there's nothing better and no better way to show yourself some TLC than by practicing self-care and setting healthy goals. Now, one of the easiest ways, well, sip on a Manhattan iced tea. It's naturally refreshing, and it's the perfect summer refreshment, even after a workout. Now, Mark from Salsa Cape Town is back. He's here to take us through a fun salsa routine you can try at home that not only makes you feel good, you'll have fun while doing it. Mark, welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much.
I know whenever you come, it's a fun time. You brought the ladies along, and they are looking great. And just looking at them, people always think like salsa can't give you both. It can't give you fun and fitness and get your body goals, but that is a myth. That is not true, right?
Very true.
Clearly.
Clearly. Yeah, so salsa's really good. I mean, just the music and the style put together, it makes you want to move, even just listening to the music. And we got a couple good moves that we're going to put together for you.
Show us that good moves. I'm ready. We are ready.
All righty. Let's do this. All right, so we're going to run through our basics. So if you're at home, get up, leave your food and your breakfast for now. So we're going to start with our left leg forward, and we're going to step on 1, 2, and 3 together, and then we're going back on 5 and 6 and 7. So we go forward, together, and back and together. We go 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5. We go to the side. We go 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. Back to the front. This is basic step 3 and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 5. We're going to tap forward. We tap and 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 tap. Basic 1, 2, 3, and 5. And feel free to move your upper body.
Ooh, and move those hips as well.
There we go. And we're going to turn to the right. 5, 6, 7, and turn, turn. And 5, 6. Always back to basic. 1, 2, 3. And 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. Side to side, and 1, 2, 3. And 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. Back to basic. 1, 2. We're going to turn to the left. 1, 2, 3. Turn to the right. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. And 5 and 6 and 7. We good?
Wow, yes, that was amazing. I think that we need to add some music to that.
I think so.
Get ready for this Tuesday.
We're going to bump it up a little bit as well.
We can bump it up.
Throw a couple things in.
DJ, play that music. Mark and myself and the girls are ready.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 1. Let's go. Woo. Get up at home. Here we go. We go to the side. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, back to basic 1. Let's right turn. So we're going to repeat that to the side. Basic. Right turn. One more time. To the side. Back to basic. Right turn. Okay, we're going to left turn. Here we go. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1. And we're adding our taps. 1, 3, 5, 7, back to 1, 2, 3. Yes? Let's add that. That's how we go. Broken left, left turn. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, tap. 6, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, basic 1. One more time, basic. Let's go. Broken left. 2, 3, 5, 6, basic. 2, 3. Let's tap it out. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Everything from the top. Basic. One more basic. Here we go to the side. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, basic. Right turn. 2, 3. Always basics in the middle. Let's go left turn. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. And we're going to tap it out. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 1. One more time from the top. Ready? Here we go, side to side. 2, 3, 5, 6, basic, 1. Right turn. 2, 3. Left turn. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Tap it out. 1. Keep going. Tap, 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 tap. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 1. Let's live here for a little bit. And we're gonna break back. So we're gonna go 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And for the ladies, you can throw your arms out. For the guys, you can just be here. And back to basic. Same thing, break back. We go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, basic. Nice, same thing to the front. We go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 5, 1, 5, 6, basic, 1. Yes. So we do a little switch. We go to the front and around. So we stay this way. Let's go again. So we switch. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Now we're gonna go switch right turn. Wait, wait, wait. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5. Right turn. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1. Yeah, we're gonna add that piece together. So we break to the back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. To the front straight away. 2, 3, 5. Basic. 2, 3. Switch.
Mark,
1, 2, 3,
we can
5.
continue
Right
all
turn.
day while we
2,
continue
3.
dancing. Grab yourself a Manhattan to refresh yourself after that amazing workout. Can we give them a round of applause, everybody? That was amazing. I feel like I was a part of like a backup dancing group or something.
You were.
We definitely broke out a sweat. I felt that. Where can people get hold of you?
At Salsa Cape Town or www.salsacapetown.co.za. We're on all social media. We run classes and parties all over Cape Town. So I hope to see you there.
Definitely want to party with you guys. Grab yourself a Manhattan iced tea, refreshing after that workout. Thank you so much for that. Let us know what you thought of that workout. Hey, hey.
So we have been inspired to explore Mauritius, so we thought we should explore some more Mauritian culture through their cuisine in light of, obviously, the amazing team of Matrics going on tour to Mauritius, courtesy of Riaan Manser. Now, if you're a fan of falafel, then you are probably, hopefully, going to love these Mauritian street food treats, and they're called Gateaux Piments. I hope I'm saying it right. Gateaux Piments directly translates to chili cakes, also known as gajaks. Let's call it a chili pop. Michele van Zari now joins us in the kitchen to show us how to make this traditional snack. We're going to make it slightly differently because we like to health things up on a Tuesday. That's when we bring you in.
You know?
I always know we're going to try and pass something as healthy when we have you standing here. How are you doing, buddy?
Good and yourself, man. It's lovely to be back here.
I'm excited about this. I love me a little bit of chili and I love falafel balls. And this is something quite similar but a little bit different. So what's going into our Gateaux Piments?
So I know when you looked at these, you're also a little bit confused.
Like, who shrunk the corn?
But these are actually just yellow lentils. Again, sticking to the health trend, they're packed with protein. And they're such an amazing way. I mean, I know a lot of people are trying to do a little bit of a less meat on a Monday or whenever.
Yeah.
This is a great source of protein, low, high, I mean, it's high in protein and it's just such a great ingredient.
And satisfying. I think that's something that when you're going the meat-free option, make sure that the food is delicious and satisfying to help you along the process. And we're going to be baking ours. I know traditionally it is deep fried, but this is, it's starting to, they look very much like a falafel ball. So I would imagine they have a similar kind of texture, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside.
So the basis of falafel is chickpea that's blended up. This is essentially just changing that up a little bit. These are actually high in protein, so they really are nice. And it's sticking to that really Mauritian vibe. And there's a lot of influence from French cuisine, a little bit of Indian, European. So it's really a blend of all of the greatest cuisines in the world that came together and created a really interesting cuisine.
I love it because it's quite similar to Cape Town, in fact. We've obviously got a melting pot here. I think, obviously, the Indian cuisine is a massive influence here. Maybe the French, not quite as much. But what I love about Mauritius, and from what I've heard, it's beautifully continental. There are so many different influences. So when you explore the culture, it's something that is so unique and so delicious. And I'm sorry, if I'm going to explore a place, I explore through the food.
Absolutely.
I think street food.
The reason why I go to places essentially first on the list is the food. And I've spent quite a bit of time in Mauritius, so I think this is so nice for me. It's such a nice way to bring a cuisine that a lot of people don't know about back to South Africa, and this is the perfect.
And I think this is going to be a crowd favourite. And yeah, I know we're going with the green chili, but you could go super hot. It's up to you. Okay.
First things first. We've soaked these overnight. If you don't soak them, they're not soft enough to blend.
Okay.
So you just pop them into any jar, cover them with water, close the jar. Next day, you just strain them out.
Okay.
Straight into the blender. I hope this thing is. so you don't want to go too far. I think that's the biggest thing about this recipe is you don't want to take these to like a paste.
Okay.
You want to leave a little bit of texture just so that it gives them that like falafel vibe.
Sure.
There's a little bit of grit and a little bit of heart to it.
And I suppose it's finding that balance because it needs to be able to bind, but
Absolutely.
you know, still have the texture. Okay.
Cool. So that goes straight back into your bowl. You can blend them. This looks perfect, actually. All right. And you see, if you blend them up, you get this nice, it kind of creates its own gluten, to a sense, because now they're going to hold their shape.
To bind. Okay, brilliant. I get that.
So flavor profiles for this, you've got that. A little bit of spring onion, that goes in. Chopped white onion or just normal onion. This adds a little bit more stringency, and it's very important to this recipe, so normal onion as well. A little bit of flour.
And this is kind of, I suppose, the backbone. You could kind of push the boat out here and there, but this is the core.
Yeah.
I know we're putting our slight own little spin on it.
Yeah.
But
So seasoning, nice flaked molten salt, always nice. Bit of black pepper. And then I think what really makes this Mauritian is the cumin. You can toast it off and blend it up at home, which is really nice. This is obviously, you can buy store-bought ground cumin, but I really love to toast my cumin, blend it up at home, and you get that beautiful, robust flavor.
Were you just wanting to throw this coriander away? Is that why it's here, or must I chop it up?
No, don't hate on the coriander.
Look, I know that the viewership is divided in half, those who can and those who can't eat coriander, so I'm not going to discriminate against those that do love it, because there are those that do.
Okay, cool. So give this a nice mix-up. You can see we have a lined baking sheet ready there. So that's essentially what we're doing today. We're just going to bake them. Like I said, you can fry them. You're supposed to fry them traditionally, but this just makes them so much healthier, and they are actually just as delicious. So, you know,
I'm thinking an air fryer was born for this.
Oh, you know, the air fryer makes everything better.
Yeah, completely, man. And I would also have a strong feeling here that these are going to be very Moorish. So don't just make 10, make like 25. If you're going to make them, make a lot.
Okay, those are just an example. If I can ask you just to brush them with a little bit of olive oil. So instead of soaking them in oil, we just give them a little taint.
It's just to help crisp the
crispiness.
Cool.
And that's it, eh? I mean, at the end, once you've baked them, I think 180 for about 20 minutes would give you a perfect perfect baked good. And yeah, pop them in the oven, take them out, sprinkle them with some coriander. You can put the coriander into the dough as well. Make any little dipping sauce and you have a beautiful, healthy recipe.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit of a spicy yogurt dip. Absolutely beautiful, buddy. Thank you so much. I maintain if you're going to explore a culture, start with the food. Start with the street food that their own people absolutely love. And these beautiful little creations are very much loved in Mauritius. And I have a feeling they're going to be loved in South Africa as well.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
hungry?
Bags. My dad has a certain way of doing things.
Dad, hoe gaan dit by die werk?
Our Monati connects the family with unlimited home fiber from $3.99 per month.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on S3, and it is Tuesday, and you had to help Jamie Lee Domberg choose between two fabulous pairs of denim, and this is what you had to say on social media. Renette Cooper says, good morning, Expresso, going for light blue. Shireen Davids, option 1. Kele Bochile says, dark blue, my baby, good morning. Then taking a look at the comments coming through. Ooh, I just clicked something there. There we go. Motapo says, dark blue, cropped high-rise, straight legs. So that is a vote for number 1. It seems like Lowabo says, I think it's the second one. Anton says, I think light. Yeah, light. Well, there we go. I feel a bit torn here. It feels like it's quite even. Siobhan says number 2. Molobatsi is voting for the dark blue. And Deflay also voting for the dark blue. So I think I need to go to upstairs with our producers to figure out, is it number 1 or is it pair number 2 that won? And it seems like the light blue, which was option number 2, is the winner for today. So Jamie Lee Domberg, come on in here.
Ooh,
that
yes.
is your pair of
This is
pants.
what I'm wearing today. Thank you so much, Mzansi. I was feeling the blue one, but I'm always liking to be out of my comfort zone. Again, love the straight high-rise jeans, just beautiful paired with this nice little pink t-shirt that I have going. So I'm choosing this outfit thanks to you, Mzansi.
Oh, well, there we go. Jamie, anything you wear will look amazing.
Oh, thank you, Zoza. Don't fall for me. Don't fall for the jeans.
I'm going to fall for you, girl. Well, if you want to get your hands on any of these looks and so much more, it is available at Woolworths. You can shop it inline, in fact, online, in-store, and on the Woolies app.
Indeed.
Thank you very much, ladies. Yes, Jamie Lee Domberg, you're going to be in line with all of the trends. You're going to be looking so hot in there. Time for us to take a look at those news headlines at 7 o'clock here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Levels of COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy across the country are declining. This, according to a new survey done by the University of Johannesburg and the Human Sciences Research COVID-19 Democracy Survey. The level of hesitancy among those aged 18 to 24 years has declined by 16% points, by a 9% points among 25 to 34-year-olds. Last week, Health Minister Dr. Joe Phaahla said some 42% of the adult population had been fully vaccinated, and those aged 60 and older continue to lead as the most vaccinated age group. Eskom, meanwhile, has an agreement with the city of Cape Town not to implement load shedding to the City Hall for SONA. That's the State of the Nation address on Thursday. Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter says that there will be no load shedding in the City Hall precinct for President Cyril Ramaphosa's address. This year, SONA will be held in the Cape Town City Hall for the very first time ever, and de Ruyter couldn't guarantee that the rest of the country would have power on Thursday for the President's address. In international news, Australia has announced that the reopening of its borders to vaccinated tourists and other visa holders for the very first time in almost 2 years. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said, and I quote, "If you are double vaccinated, we look forward to welcoming you back." The reopening on the 21st of February will be welcome news for many sectors, including international education. And Australia has had some of the world's strictest border controls throughout the coronavirus pandemic. And in March 2020, the government closed the borders and barred most foreigners from entering the country. So that's good news for the 21st of February. Senegal's soccer team has been given a hero's welcome upon their return home after winning the Africa Cup of Nations for the very first time. Tens of thousands of people gathered to welcome the players landing in Dakar with the trophy, and President Macky Sall was also present to greet and welcome them. The celebrations began straight after this final whistle on Sunday night. You could see people pouring onto the streets of Dakar, dancing and firing fireworks into the air. And Monday has been declared a national holiday. in Senegal. Now, on to some Valentine's Day news. Valentine's Day will be with us this coming Monday. Are you ready for it? Valentine is coming. Where's your boyfriend? So we thought now was a good time to remind you that many penguins are top-level relationship role models. Honestly, seriously, oh yes. For one, they share parenting duties such as incubating their eggs and feeding their babies. That's a tick. They're usually monogamous, great, and they follow their hearts. And that's why you see and hear so many adorable stories of same-sex penguin couples building little lives together. Such is the case for Elmer and Lima, two penguins' husbands at the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in New York. And the couple just became first-time dads and are the zoo's very first same-sex foster parents to successfully hatch an egg. Now, the zoo staff is careful in how they choose foster parents, and they selected Elmer and Lima because they were, and I quote, exemplary in every aspect of egg care. High praise. Their new baby, a boy, has yet to be named, and zoo director Ted Fox also delivered a very unintentional, maybe romantic summary of the couple's relationship. Now, that's what they said, that the penguins are free to choose who they wish to spend the time of their lives with, and in their case, they chose each other. Hashtag love wins, baby. From that to what's happening in the skies and the weather, here's Zoe Brown.
Thank you, Tabiso. And let's bring you some quick weather news. Ice on a glacier near the summit of Mount Everest that took millennia to form has shrunk dramatically in the last 3 decades due to climate change, a new study has shown. The South Col Formation has shed some 55 meters of thickness in the last 25 years, according to research published this week by the journal Nature. The glacier is thinning more than 80 times faster than the time it took to form. At this rate, South Col will probably disappear within a few decades. It's some 7,900 meters above sea level and a kilometer below the peak of the world's highest mountain. As the glacier shrinks, hundreds of lakes have formed in the foothills of the Himalayas, and these could burst and unleash floods. Himalayan glaciers are a critical water source for millions living around the mountains and river valleys below. Now, moving to the sunrise images that we receive regularly via our Expresso Facebook page, we of course have more beautiful images to showcase with you this morning. Razeen Pandi from Westering in the Eastern Cape kicks us off our 7 a.m. update with this gorgeous view overlooking her area, showing off the sun coming up in the distance. And then Roxy Mays, who regularly contributes, shared the stunning shot that her daughter Chloe Ann took in Gqeberha. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, let's quickly get into your temperatures. Sivriampolo Kwane, a low of 17 and a high of 29 for today. Mbombela 20, reaching a high of 31. Pretoria 19, 28. Johannesburg 17 with a high of 26. Partly cloudy conditions in Mahikeng 17 with a high of 31. Klerksdorp 16, reaching a high of 30. Kimberley 18, 31. Bloemfontein partly cloudy with a high of 29. Expect some rain in Richards Bay with a low of 18, a high of 30. Pietermaritzburg 16, reaching a high of 30. Durban 20 with a high of 29. Mthatha 16, reaching a high of 33. A sunny day in East London, 21's your low, 30 your high. Cradock 17, reaching a high of 35. If you're in Gqeberha, a low of 18, a high of 27 for today. A sunny day in George, 16, reaching a high of 27. Cape Town 17, 26. Worcester 15 with a high of 37. Sutherland 13, 31, and a partly cloudy day in Uppington, but still a hot one, a low of 22 and a high of 35 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's time to get into some music. An alternative rock band in the studio is always a good idea. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm Expresso welcome to alternative rock band Last Youth. Let's hear it. Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. Comprised of 4 talented musicians and formed in 2021, Lockdown, Lost Youth. They are an alternative rock band that has burst onto the scene with their debut EP, Chasing Shadows. You're going to love it. Citing acts like Foo Fighters, Fleetwood Mac, and Red Hot Chili Peppers as their influences. Then you already know how good these guys are going to be, right? The group delivers a unique and yet nostalgic experience. In fact, enough telling you, you must just see it yourself. Watch this. Man, come on. We have the band's members, Alana, Fakhri, Teddy, and Charlie in studio as our performers for this morning. So, guys, it is so good to have you here. This is a feel-good vibe to start off our Tuesday with. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Alana, you were just telling me now a very interesting fact that was shot on an iPhone.
Yes, indeed.
So basically, 2021, at the start of the lockdown period, really did come through with some inventiveness for you guys. You had to find some new and interesting ways of creating music, of getting together, but of also creating content. Tell us all about it.
So I feel like lockdown was really difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like musicians, obviously, we couldn't play live, which is what we love to do the most, you know. And so forming this band was kind of like a beacon of hope for us. We got to sort of hide away and make music while the rest of the world was crazy. And we found like live streaming, and I learned how to edit music videos on my laptop. And you know, it's just, we sort of figured out, okay, you know, nobody's gonna really help us right now. Like the world is messed up, so let's try and do it ourselves, kind of thing.
Well, and then you were able to do it yourselves, and you did it in such an incredible way. Fakhri, for example, you got to tell us about how you came together and found your style, your sound, which you have described as being reminiscent of the past. What is that all about, and why that specific inspiration of sound?
I think it's mostly linked towards like that grunge and alternative rock sound we all have. And we all have different influences. Like, I also have elements of like acoustic-y side, or folky side, and yeah.
Charlie, I know that you know, you guys are working on, you know, bringing in a different you know, flavor to the group, and you in particular are that interesting flavor, a sprinkle of something interesting. And you say no, but you're being modest. You do bring such an interesting and a unique energy to it. What is your vibe in comparison to, you know, everybody else's vibe, and how you sort of fit in as an act there?
Well, I don't know. We all have our own magic, and we just come together in a beautiful way.
Charlie's the mysterious one.
The mysterious one, yeah, you can see he won't tell you everything, but when he steps on that stage, you will know everything there is to be known. Okay, so let's talk about this. You guys are you know, are working on some new music. You've got, you know, concepts of light and dark that you sort of bring across. Maybe you want to tell me about that, Charlie.
Oh, well, our second EP is coming out in the next year, possibly. And yeah.
You're just looking forward to that, basically. Just like the mystery is officially on.
See, he's still doing the mysterious.
Yeah, like he is giving us all of that mystery.
You can't break it.
Teddy, you know, maybe tell us about what each person brings to the table and what you bring to the table. I mean, you're the one guy, you're the rock star in the band that's, you know, got the shades on. That already is quite telling of your uniqueness and what you bring to the table. But maybe break it down for us, what everybody sort of adds and how all of this comes together to create and bring across all of this magic.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I think we all have different influences. I mean, I joined the band about a month ago. They lost their drummer and they had December shows and a January tour, 24 days. And yeah, I was there to help them out. They said they need a drummer and I was like, okay, cool. I started working from the 10th, so I was balancing work and a tour at the same time.
No way. How long did it take you to acclimatize to like an already existing band? Because these guys already had their own flow, and here you are, a new drummer. I mean, a drummer is an important part of a band. Stepping into the zone in that way.
He did it so quickly.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was
from
a trial by
as
fire.
well.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so new music, you are working on that constantly. I suppose you guys are always, you know, writing new things and material. Any one of you, tell me what to expect. What can we expect from what's coming up?
So the EP that we just released is called Chasing Shadows, and it's the first part of a 2-part chapter.
That's what I heard, yeah.
That's like the darker side. It's about dealing with your demons and these things that are haunting you. And it's kind of through the lens of a relationship and the end of a relationship, but it can be relevant to sort of mental health or, you know, whatever kind of things are dragging you down. And then the second EP that we've already written, but we're just about to go into recording, that's about finding the light. Finding the...
So breaking away from the dark experience and finding that light. Well, the 4 of you guys, I mean, you seem pretty cool, and I already said that, wow, to look so pretty at this time of the morning, it must be so painful, but you guys are doing it for us. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you guys perform for us on the Expresso stage. It's Lost Youth. They are going to be serving us their nostalgic sound throughout the morning, so you better keep it tightly locked right here to your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso, and open up to some inspiring rock jams.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast show, and on Tuesdays we love talking all things medical. Now imagine needing to receive an essential surgery and having that process delayed by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Well, that is sadly the reality for many South Africans, as over 6,000 surgeries at Groote Hospital have not been able to be completed.
I mean, that's awful, right? And the Surgical Recovery Project, which has been pioneered by the Groote Hospital Trust, which is raising funds to fast-track the process. They are doing such an incredible job in that regard. Now, joining Expresso this morning to share more about all of this are the Head of General Surgery at Groote Hospital, Professor Lydia Kern-Cross, alongside medical doctor, TV personality, a friend of the show, a trustee of the trust, Dr. Michael Moore. Good morning, Doctor, and good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Great socks to be so.
Well,
very nice.
thank you.
Pink and shiny.
Are these still your birthday presents?
So you got me a few,
I got him a whole selection.
Thank you. I didn't polish my shoes this morning. No,
it's okay. Prof. Lydia, I want to start with you. I mean, I can't believe we are reaching the 2-year mark since the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and ever since the hospitals have been inundated with, you know, resources being taken up by COVID-19. How has that affected the people, especially those needing essential surgeries?
Yeah, thanks, Zoe. So, of course, COVID's affected everybody, whether it's work, school, or having lost a loved one. But in the health system, what we experienced was that during a wave, thousands of patients would arrive literally gasping for breath, needing oxygen, ICU, high care. And we had to divert services towards that urgent need. So everything that wasn't a life or death emergency service was postponed or cancelled, including many, many operations. So there are operations that you can postpone for a few weeks, such as cataract surgery or joint replacement, some prostate operations, and a few weeks doesn't affect the patient significantly. But the problem is that we have a health system at capacity, and it's not a few weeks. So we have people coming into the system all the time who are now adding onto that load, and those that have been waiting due to COVID are still waiting. Many of them have been waiting for several months, and some of them, heartbreakingly, for several years for their operations.
So there's a big backlog.
Absolutely, it's a big backlog, but in that process, I imagine people do lose their lives in that process, but the frustration that comes with it for their families and their loved ones, but for the person as well. And that's why the Surgical Recovery Unit was pioneered by the Groote Schuur Hospital Trust.
Absolutely.
Why was that so important and so necessary? Of course, the obvious reason is that you have to save lives and you have to make sure that the system is able to carry and manage the pressure, but why was it such a priority?
Well, simply because it was. We have to do this. I mean, remember the early days of the vaccine when we queued up for hours to get our vaccine?
Yeah.
Now imagine you have pain, or imagine you're battling to see, or Lydia, you mentioned joint pain, needing a joint replacement, and you get into the queue and there are 6,000 people in that queue. Now that's disheartening, and what's worse is people come that are slightly more urgent than you are, a little more pain, and they get to jump the queue, and so it just feels like it's never going to happen. Lydia mentioned several years waiting for surgery, so it's just a case of we had to do this. And what we're doing is raising funds to make sure there's an extra theatre available, extra staff available, so we can get through this queue, so you can get to the front and can get that essential surgery done. And it's a pioneering thing that Groote Schuur is doing. That's the nature of the hospital. We've always pioneered. And we hope that other hospitals are going to follow suit and go, that's a great idea. Yeah. Let's do the same thing. Let's create more capacity so we can actually get through the queue and not just kind of perpetuate this. Because 6,000 stays 6,000, as Lydia said. There are still new patients coming in all the time.
You want scale and you want impact that you can feel, that you can see almost immediately. I love that.
Yes. And I mean, earlier Tabiso mentioned the frustrations for not only the patient and their families, but I can imagine as the medical professionals yourself, the frustration you must be feeling. Prof. Lydia, in terms of I know you said there's constantly new people being added to that list, but what is being done right now by Groote Schuur to at least just try and help those who need surgery?
Thanks, Zoe. So right now we're trying very hard to get all our systems up to maximum capacity and beyond. We are triaging those patients that are most in need, patients with cancer, patients that are complicating as a result of their delays, and also those that have waited the longest, and trying to get through those operations. But as Michael has been saying, we can't do more than that, and without time in theatre, seeing a patient in clinic is not helpful. So you come to me and I say, I understand and I know what to do, and we have the skills and the equipment and the ability to help you with this, but I don't have the theatre time. So what we are looking at is doing 1,500 operations over 1 year. It's a really ambitious project, but we think that we can do it. We've got the support of the Hospital Trust, we've got support of Gift of the Givers, who's donated 5 million, and we have the energy and passion of our surgical teams, and we think that we can do this. We can change the lives of these patients.
Well, this is inspiring. This is all-round inspiring to see that there's been so much work that's been done by the hospital's trust in that regard, but also to see the Gift of the Givers stepping in. 15 million rand is the goal, that's the target, but you've raised 5 million rand. You want corporates to be a part of this. You want ordinary South Africans who are able to help in that regard step in and be part of it. How can they do so?
Yeah, Tabiso, you said it. I mean, what I love about the trust in the hospital is people often say, we should do something, or someone should do something. We are doing something. We have a plan, and it's a good plan. And it's going to cost us 15 million rand. Gift of the Givers has given us 5, so we're a third of the way there. We're looking for 10 more. And again, just appealing to South Africans, particularly corporates, I mean, we would really value your support. If you want to do something with those additional funds, here's a great cause. And aside from actually moving the needle and making a real difference in patients' lives, there is a tax benefit. So we can give you a Section 18A for your contribution. So whether you're part of a big corporate, whether you are part of a hiking club, we have a hiking club that's doing the Otter Trail at the end of the month, and they heard about the surgical recovery project, and they went, we want to invest, and so they've raised 100,000 rand.
Oh, man.
A big adventure, making a big difference, and that's really what we'd love you to do. So you can contribute, you can go to our website, there is a donations page, credit card, EFTs, you know, you can take bags of unmarked bills. In fact, we won't take that, though. Hey, no, that's maybe not. Anything else?
I'll take those.
Well, we have the website details on your screen right now. Dr. Michael Moll's not going anywhere. Prof. Lydia, it was so good to have you here as well. And what an important chat. So please, especially to the big corporates, if you watch this, make sure you visit their website and also help with a bit of a CSI redirection.
So while we are still focused on our amazing medical professionals, let's hone in on a pharmacy for today. Every Tuesday, we bring you the Pharmacy of the Week. It's a short feature acknowledging the incredible people working on the front lines. And this is our way of saying thank you to these brave healthcare workers. Of course, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, the sponsors of Brave. So let's take a look at this week's Pharmacy of the Week, which is Mopani Pharmacy, all the way in Nelspruit.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
For me to serve this community as a pharmacist is a calling, and I think with a lot of grace we get to serve them with all their medicine needs and look after them as like our own families. I think COVID-19 has really affected us as a community, and Mopani is about the staff that works here. We're called to be servants and be servant-minded, and so it's an honor for me and a privilege to look after people, and just I would look after my own family through medicine and the knowledge that we've been given. For me, I think bravery is when you go beyond your own capacity. So I would say it's a character that comes out that takes you above and beyond what you're able to do. Shout out to all the Mopani staff that has tirelessly gone through this pandemic and really looked after each other, looked after the community, and continue to serve.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Is gastric acidity ruining your day? You need an antacid that neutralizes acid in the stomach. Adco Mayo Gel. Feel it working. Feel good again. Feel the relief. Adco Mayo Gel. Feel the relief.
Absolutely brilliant. Mopani Pharmacy, we see you. But moreover, a massive thank you to all those working on our front lines. Clearly, we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much, G-Man. We are certainly working on our fitness this morning. Today, it's all about a beginner-friendly workout, and of course, to take us through it, really just to ease us into the workout session this morning is Carly Fit this morning. Carly starts looking cute, looking snatched, and I had to say beginner-friendly because I've seen you train and kill everybody else. So I'm saying it's going to be easy, everybody.
It's going to be easy.
Is it going to be
even
easy?
more easier, maybe.
Okay, I trust you.
But you're gonna do the hard version, and I'm gonna do the easy.
I trained legs yesterday. I cannot feel my legs, but I will try my best to keep up with you this morning.
Okay, so before we actually do start, we want to warm up first, okay? Just basic warm-ups, just from side to side. We're gonna do
your
lunges.
basic is probably like my full workout.
And then we're just gonna move from side to side, just opening up the groin, okay?
Got it.
You'll probably feel some cracks going there.
Ooh, it's making sounds. It's definitely making sounds.
Perfect. Okay, and then the next one we're going to do walk downs, okay, also called inchworms. So we're going to be walking down. Just make sure that your legs are straight. You're going down.
But to be fair, I did some salsa this morning, so I am quite warmed up.
Nice. Back down. Salsa.
Yeah, we did some salsa with the Salsa Cape Town team. They came in, got that blood pumping this morning. And now you are just solidifying the workout as well.
Okay, so we're just going to keep it at that. We're going to start now with the actual workout.
Okay,
easy
so that
workout.
wasn't the workout? Yeah, I told you it wasn't as easy.
Okay, so let's start with high knees. Okay, so you're going to be doing just this easy. Okay, another version, if you want to make it a little bit harder, is that. See, I'm doing the hard version.
There we go.
You see?
There you go. So we are modifying. If you want to follow along, you can do so with me. And of course, if you want to challenge yourself, do that. If you're ahead of your fitness game, you can follow Carly.
Okay, the next one, jumping jacks. So normal jumping jacks. Okay, especially for people that has problems with their knees or lower back, or has a lower back injury. just step from side to side.
There we go.
Okay, well, I'll be doing this.
Nice and easy. Pace yourself. You can still get that heart rate pumping regardless.
Yes, definitely.
If you are doing an easy or beginner-friendly workout.
Yes.
It's all about moving.
Are you feeling it?
Feeling
I'm
good.
feeling it. So the next exercise, just basic squats. So you'll be doing basic squats, just going down and up.
Exit.
There you go. While I'll be doing a double pulse. So 1, 2, and up.
Note to self, don't train legs the day before you see Carly, because it will hurt. It will burn everybody.
Okay, so the next exercise, also pretty easy. It's just a elbow to knee touch. So just here, working the core. Okay, nice.
There we go.
Okay, how are you feeling?
Very good, very good. It feels like a nice little stretch again after yesterday's session. But here's the thing: a lot of people think that when you're working out, it has to be high intense. You have to be sweating. It's all about moving. It's about staying active, just really moving the body.
100%. Okay, the next exercise is a plank. Okay, so 2 variations. High plank. You'll be doing the high plank now.
Okay.
Since this doesn't work really your legs, works more upper body.
Upper body.
So there, well, I'll be doing a low plank, but I'll be dropping the knee, okay? So for people that really can't do the plank, you can also feel the plank doing this. Yeah, so that's 5 exercises of a beginner workout.
And this is really just stabilizing the core as well. I'm sure you're using all the muscle groups.
As well as your arms. Yeah.
Here we go.
And that's your 5 exercises.
I actually forgot even the first one after the plank, because there's something about a plank, eh? A plank is that thing that says, like, you can hold a plank for 1 minute. That minute is the longest minute of your life.
I always end up with the plank, 1 minute or 1 minute and a half.
Thank you so much for taking us through this very easy, very basic workout.
Yeah, and I actually posted this yesterday, so people can just go onto my Instagram page.
Go onto her Instagram, Carly Fit. Carly Swats is the personal trainer. That is her name. She took us through a very basic, very easy workout for us for this Tuesday. But do let us know what you thought of that. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, I think we should actually plank again, because
okay, cool.
That felt nice.
Why not?
Here we go.
Okay.
So we can lift it. Simple as CBD should be.
In this world where you want the best for you and your family, wouldn't you rather have a bank that helps you make better money choices? A bank that rewards you for saving. A bank that gives you quick and easy access to credit. A bank that gives you personalized offers. A bank that helps you spend, save, and borrow better. So, do you want a bank that takes your money? Or a bank that takes your money choices seriously? Join Nedbank today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're still live with Expresso as we continue on a bit of a health tip this morning. Now, our trusted friend in medicine and health, Dr. Michael Mole, is still in studio with us this morning. Yes, he's asking for 10 million, okay, but we can't give him that right now. So we're going to ask him for a little bit of advice in the meantime, and we always love the helpful advice that he dispenses. So today we have enlisted him to give us the lowdown on the 3 aspects of life that serve as pillars to living a healthy lifestyle.
Nice.
Save us,
G-Man. Thank you very much. G-Man. Hey, that's what I heard earlier.
Yeah.
G-Man.
No, it makes me feel younger when they give me funky terms like that. Buddy, always good to you. I didn't see you earlier, so good luck with the endeavours of getting that extra 10 mil.
Very much.
If anyone can do it, you can do it. That bag of unmarked bills is waiting. The 3 pillars of good health.
Absolutely, man.
Make it sound so simple.
And you know what? Health really is simple. And life's better when you're healthy, and health really is simple. That's the big message here. And they 3 pillars: eat, sleep, and move. And it really is simple as that. So all those little notes on the kitchen door and the fridge, that kind of, and the gym times, and guys, eat, sleep, move. You can crack those, you're going to be healthy.
You know what? I sometimes find, like, when you go through those phases, when you are in the if your mindset is right, it's easy, but it's always when it's quite challenging. And how do you know whether the eating plan you're on or the amount of sleep you're getting is right for you? That is the
Zoe,
tricky question.
and apologies from the medical fraternity. I think we've confused everybody, particularly when it comes to eating. It is so hard. Someone said to me the other day, it's easier to fill in my income tax returns than it is to know what's healthy to eat, because I don't know anymore. You know, fat used to be bad for us. Now it's really good, you know, and eggs. And no one knows. So the basic rule, and this hasn't changed despite all the fads and all the diets, is eat more real food, eat less junk food. What you guys do next door, real food. It really is. So if it goes ping in the microwave, no. If you've got to drive through somewhere to get it, no. You know, I mean, if it comes in a box or a tin, no.
What if you ran to the drive-thru? What if you did a brisk walk to the drive-thru?
You know, so I mean, there's a lovely rule of thumb that says if it comes from a plant, good. If it is made in a plant, not.
No.
So,
I like that.
There's lots to say about eating, but at the end of the day, more real food, less junk food and processed food.
All I hear is blah, blah, blah. Come on, buddy. You know, the reason why I'm a little disenchanted about this is because it's probably one of the biggest focuses in my life. I've got 2 young kids, and I'm up at 4 every morning. The ladies are up even earlier than that. How do we maintain adequate rest when life is happening?
So Graham, you're not going to like this answer, and this is going to scare you, but men who sleep... the issue with sleep at men is testicles, okay? I did say testicles on Expresso.
Yeah.
Men who sleep 5 hours or less have smaller testicles than men who sleep 7 hours or more, all right? And unfortunately, that is the truth. In fact, you have a testosterone profile of someone 10 years your senior if you're getting less than 5 hours of sleep. And it's not just men, by the way. So we do a global sleep experiment every year on 1.7 billion people across 67 countries, and it's called daylight saving. On the day that we lose an hour of sleep, we see an increase in heart attacks of around 24%.
Sure.
My goodness.
And on the day that we gain an hour of sleep back, we see a decrease in heart attacks of around 21%. Just on that day. And it's not just heart attacks, it's motor vehicle accidents, it's suicide, so we really need that sleep. Yeah. And the ideal thing when it comes to sleep is 7 hours minimum. Okay. So whenever you get that, just make sure you get 7. And I know it's hard with kids. Been there, done that. I know it's hard with early morning TV. Been there, done that.
Exactly.
But you need to go to bed earlier so you can get 7 hours in. 9 hours and more, too much. 7 hours minimum. So that's just
that a priority.
And as consistent as possible. So Monday through Sunday. You know, don't think you can sleep in on the weekends. Consistency. And one last thing, when you think about your sleep environment, the best thing to think about is Batman. Cool, dark, quiet. Eh?
And I'm allowed to say that to my partner when I go to bed. I am Batman. And then go to bed. I love it.
So we've touched on 2 of the 3 pillars. You've expanded a bit on the eating, now the sleeping. Movement is one of those things. I find that, you know, sometimes you're so exhausted, the last thing you feel like doing is moving, but at the end of the day, you get a quick workout in and it gives you more energy.
Feels so much better, yeah.
How important is the movement for
You make such a good point there, Zoe. I mean, if you think about, you get to the end of the day, and by the way, the best time to train is in the mornings, not the evenings, until you maybe get some chance to talk about that later. But if you don't have the energy, the answer is exercise anyway. You've got these little things called mitochondria in your cells. These are energy factories, all right? When you exercise, your cells produce more energy factories, and so you get more energy. So even if you don't feel like exercising, do it anyway, and that energy comes. But when it comes to movement, any kind of movement counts. People often say, what's the best exercise in the world? And I know G-Man is going, CrossFit, you know. So he's a CrossFit.
CrossFit, I was furious.
No, the science now says there's not one bit of exercise that has a benefit over any other, as long as you do what you're doing at the right intensity for your fitness level. So you can swim, you can run, you can ride, you can garden, if you can garden at the right intensity. So the big idea is any kind of movement counts and any amount of movement.
Okay.
All right, that's the most important thing. And if you want to ask me how or what, you know the how and the what, it's the why. What's your why to exercise? If you can get that, you know, I want to be young for my kids. I want to be able to not get up and moan on my back because, every time I get up, whatever the reason, have a why, and you will exercise.
There we go.
Enjoy it,
and
man.
it's easy. Skip the escalator or the lift. Use the stairs.
That's right, exactly.
There
All
we
those
go.
kind of
There's
things.
some
Any kind of movement counts.
Oh, I love it. Well, we're going to continue to highlight everything that's wrong with my life in another segment in just a moment. No, the good doctor is sticking around. Eat healthy, sleep a little bit more, and move. It's that simple. It really is. We're going to continue to explore the 3 pillars of good health in just a moment.
And of course, listen to some good music. Now, this morning we are joined by the sound and talents of alt rock band Lost Youth. They're kicking off their performances with a song off their debut EP, Chasing Shadows, called Too Late. Guys, take it away.
Till none's left.
amazing. Lost Youth here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show jamming. That was amazing. You guys did brilliant. The debut of their brand new EP. Well, let us know what you thought of that. What a way to start a Tuesday. We'll see you after this.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You are just in time as we're continuing our medical chat, and this time we're doing it a little bit differently because when it comes to health, we all have our own strong opinions on what we should and shouldn't do. But back with us to bust some of those myths and to prove some of them is, of course, to live a healthy lifestyle. We have medical doctor, TV personality, friend of the show, and of course a great expert, Dr. Michael Mole, here to answer some of those myths that we have.
Or bust some of those myths.
We're going to bust them.
A favourite pastime, yeah.
No, we love it, man. Because you make it accessible, and I think that's often the problem is we want to improve our health, but we don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, it seems this big ethereal thing of like, I've got to be healthy, but why?
I've got to lose this weight before I can do this to be able to do this. Let's start with something that I think is probably interwoven in most of our kind of consciousness, water. We need water. 8 glasses of water. Is that the magical number? Is it 9? Is it 6?
I giggle when I see people wandering around an office with this like big jug of water just sipping out all day because someone somewhere told them they're going to drink 8 glasses of water a day.
Yeah.
No. Guys, it won't do any harm, but there's no science behind 8 glasses of water a day, so you don't have to do that. No, not at all. It came from the early 60s, I think, when they had they said you consume on average 2,000 calories of food a day. For every calorie, you need a milliliter of water. And that's 2 liters of water, 8 glasses, but that little science went on to say you get most of it in the food you eat anyway. So this whole idea of 8 glasses of water a day, no.
It's not going to hurt you.
No, it won't hurt you, but you don't, please don't kind of think, I've got to force down this 8th glass of water. No,
Okay, it will just make you run to the bathroom.
Exactly, which is not a bad thing. More movement.
That's true. Our next question for you to bust, should we be flossing every single day?
Oh, you tell me.
I like
Come
to
on,
floss.
yes, man. Got a little aqua flosser and everything.
I like flossing.
So remember, this is health, and when it comes to health, no opinions, only science. Science says that flossing, and this, not this, flossing has got 0 impact, little to no impact when it comes to preventing gum disease or cavities. So if you've been wasting a minute a day on every tooth, you can stop. And if you feel guilty about not flossing, you can stop feeling guilty. Food traps are different. but daily flossing.
Daily flossing. I'm still going to do it just because I'm a freak like that.
Gotten into a bit of a habit.
Okay, now the most important...
I've just told you science, and you're like,
come
no,
on,
we're going to do it anyway.
Science.
Well,
Actually, if the last 2 years have proven anything,
I'm going to leave. If you're not going to listen, I'm going to leave.
Michael, come on. COVID has proven science doesn't really matter. Okay, come on.
Okay, there we go.
No, I'm joking completely. This one is also going to be quite divisive. And it matters a lot to me because I eat a lot of, I have an egg song. Eggy, 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 can't you see? Okay, so I love eggs. How many is too many? Can we eat too many eggs? What's the relationship between cholesterol and eggs?
Such a great question. Years ago, I remember telling patients, watch your egg intake because it's going to affect your cholesterol and high cholesterol heart attacks. Essentially, after 40 years of giving those guidelines, the American Heart Association changed in 2016.
They had a change of heart.
They had a change of heart. No, they had a change of science. And they said science now shows that your dietary cholesterol, your eggs, have no impact on your serum or your blood cholesterol. So you can have as many eggs as you like. It's not going to affect your cholesterol, and it's not going to increase your risk of a heart attack. So egg away. Eggs have been
so
exonerated.
So good. I am. I'm free.
Well, I think the next question that's also quite relevant to how many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
I prefer to measure it in litres than cups because, but come on, we're a breakfast show. We live off coffee. And no, I have an extraordinary amount of coffee every day.
So our question is, coffee good or bad, and how many cups a day should we be drinking?
Such a great question. After the testicle comment, the good news is the more coffee you drink, the less chance you have of dying. Coffee is so good for you, Graham and Zoe. It's the elixir of the gods. It really is. And it's not the caffeine, it's the antioxidants, the polyphenols in coffee that we absorb better than we do out of vegetables. So coffee, really, really good for you. The black stuff, so no white stuff, no sugar and milk, just black.
Just good.
Harvard did this amazing study over 10 years, 20,000 participants, and they showed that coffee protects us from diabetes and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and certain cancers, depression. I mean, it really is an amazing, amazing drink. And the same study went on to say how many cups of coffee we should drink.
Instant coffee, does that also count?
It's fine, actually.
Okay.
Now, instant coffee is not bad.
So as long as you leave out the milk and the sugar,
no milk and the
drink
sugar,
it black
coffee is great. Any idea how many cups of coffee?
I would say 2 or 3.
2.
I'm going to say 4 with hope. I get 6.
6 cups of coffee a day is good for you.
I mean, not espresso. We're talking like proper mugs.
Coffee.
Okay, wow.
Wow.
So basically, the coffee's what's been keeping me alive for the last decade. Is what you say.
I'm going to keep you alive a lot longer, Graham.
That's brilliant. I think when we got to the flossing thing, people started taking notes. Now people have been writing.
And I need to emphasize, guys, this is science. These are studies. This is not my opinion, because I love coffee and I do. I'm just quoting what the Harvard.
Where the latest science is, man. I love it. Final question, a really important question again, because we've been led to believe this for most of our lives. Is breakfast the most important meal of the day?
You ask on a breakfast show.
I know.
We're a morning show then,
I just want to add, because now with intermittent fasting, it completely changes that concept.
When are you breaking your fast?
Hit the nail on the head. So breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. I think that was sold to us by the cereal companies way back when.
Guaranteed, yeah.
What science is now showing is that people who actually skip breakfast tend to have better health and manage their weight better than those who do have breakfast. And it really comes down to intermittent fasting. This whole idea of if I can fast for longer, my insulin drops, and when you have low insulin, you feel better, and your body's using fat for energy rather than storing fat. When your insulin goes up, you store fat. When your insulin is down, you're drawing fat as energy. And the way to drop your insulin is through fasting. So the best thing to do is have your last meal at 8 o'clock in the evening, skip breakfast, have black coffee as much as you like, and eat lunch again at 12, and those 16 hours of fasting will do amazing things for your health.
And have 9 eggs for that lunch when you do break that fast.
Exactly.
You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much for keeping your finger on the pulse.
Thank you.
I don't know if I feel better or worse about this. I know that I've got some major pluses and I've got some major question marks in my lifestyle. An opportunity for all of us to make just one simple change today. But just on a bottom line, make sure you're moving a little bit more, getting those 7 hours of sleep, and just watch what you eat. The good doctor says so.
Valentine's is coming. Where's your Valentine? Where's your boyfriend? Where's your girlfriend? Where's your Valentine? Spoil your Valentine with Chef Clem's yogurt panna cotta with seasonal berries. It's easier to make than you would even think. It's a total creamy dessert, and Chef Clem shows us how. In fact, this one is definitely going to win you a Valentine if you haven't got one yet, if you make it today or maybe tomorrow, ahead of Valentine's Day.
So what is the question? Do what? I just want to say to the people out there, if you don't have a Valentine, don't be sitting there crying right now. It's okay. Be your own Valentine.
Yeah.
Make this for yourself.
Yeah, that works too.
That works too.
No, but like self-love is a real concept in 2022.
You know what? You know what?
What?
Yes. And this year, we're going to like push the envelope a little bit, trying all amazing new recipes.
Yeah.
But you just try it for yourself.
Yeah, you try them first before you go and give them to somebody else. I love that. And maybe your child could even be your Valentine. Anyone
Anybody.
can be your
The
Valentine.
No. I was going to say the postman. Nah.
Yeah. Anybody. Postman, pet. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, let's go.
That was
what have you
pumpkin
got?
patch.
That was pumpkin patch.
Kids be merging things. Okay, bring it back.
Let's bring it back. Okay, so seasonal berries. I've loved the journey that we've had over the last 3 weeks. I mean, I was telling you now, I have bought so much of the berries from Woolies, and now I just need recipes to really just like action these berries of mine. This is definitely going to be one of them. I can already tell. You said panna cotta. I'm like, ha ha ha. Say less.
Panna cotta is so amazing, and when I'm in a restaurant and I see it on the menu, I go for it. I love panna cotta.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people don't make it because they think it's so complicated.
Okay, you're going to show us that it's not complicated?
It's not.
Because I think it's complicated, but
If
okay.
you can make packet chili,
all right,
you can make panna cotta.
All right.
Right?
Let's see.
Let's go.
See.
So the first thing we're going to need is a little bit of water, and it's cold, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to bloom our gelatine.
So the water is cold, right?
It's cold.
Typically, you would expect if you're making like jelly that you would use a bit like warm water.
There we go.
But I just need us to be clear on that.
So what we're doing is we're not dissolving the gelatine now like we would with jelly.
Okay.
That step. We're going to be blooming it, which is activating it. We're going to hydrate the dry gelatine powder.
Okay.
So we're going to get that in there.
Yeah.
And then you're going to give it like a little stir. Did I give you a spoon? You got a spoon.
I've got
I
a
need you to
spoon
do
here
some
as
work for me as well.
Okay,
So that's
cool.
going to sit to the side. While that's busy doing its thing, it's gonna firm up. It's going to swell up.
Activating. Okay, cool.
I'm going to get some cream back on the heat. We're going to make a yogurt-based panna cotta, which is delicious because we love the richness of cream.
Yeah.
But what yogurt is, it's got that slight acidity, right?
Yes,
And
of course.
it just brings out the flavor. You know, I always squeeze a little bit of lemon over food.
Yes, like
It's
how
a
you
little
do that just to pop the flavors up.
That's what our yogurt's doing for us today.
Okay,
So
great.
I'm going to add a little more cream to it. What I'm going to ask you to do is to macerate our berries.
What does that
It
even
sounds-
mean
it
in like
sounds
English?
So hectic, right? Macerate.
Macerate.
No,
like
no.
Destroy them.
That's exactly what it sounds like, but we're doing not that.
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit of sugar to our berries.
All right.
And then we're just going to like gently toss it through with the sugar.
Okay,
You're
cool.
going to see some liquid's going to start coming out the berries. And that's amazing because you want that to happen.
Okay, cool. So
Okay?
you want the juice of the
Yes.
berries to come out. So am I putting the berries?
Put it in. You're getting raspberries and blackberries.
All of the raspberries going in.
And we know that Woolies berries are handpicked, like when they are at that, like, the moment of perfection is when they come off, right? And it's amazing because they can tell all these things when the fruit's going to be at its absolute best.
Well,
and
they pay
that's the only
attention.
time that Woolies goes and
They are
picks them.
totally monitoring them and paying attention to them. Okay, so I've got the berries there, and you wanted a bit of sugar.
Right. A bit of sugar.
There.
And then I'm not even going to say use your spoon when you're done. So you just hold the bowl and just give it like a little toss.
Okay.
While that's happening, get some
So
yogurt.
this is macerating, the macerating of berries for the postman when he rocks up at your house.
Do you often give your postman a treat when he comes to the door?
I don't think I've ever seen a postman really in real life. Do postmen like rock up?
You've never seen a postman in real life. So in South Africa, they are
We're using emails. Since I was like literally born. I don't know about you.
Thousands of post people out there like just shaking their head right now. But hey, it's true. Okay, so yogurt goes into the cream. That's going to start heating up. The gelatine, can you see what started happening? Look at that.
Oh, it's thickened.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you want to happen.
All right.
Now, as soon as I get my yogurt kind of combined with my cream, I'm going to take it off the heat. And then, here we go. Vanilla goes in. So when people make vanilla anything, and they say vanilla is the key flavor, don't be adding 1 teaspoon. Add enough so you can actually
generous with
really taste it. And I'm using vanilla paste. You can use extract. If you wanted to, you can use essence, no hate.
Right.
But this is the one. And I use the paste because I want to see the black vanilla beans in the panna cotta. The contrast between the white and the black, it just makes it amazing.
I love that. Well, listen, all of this, you can get on woolworths.co.za, and they've got tons of inspiring recipes on there, honestly, to set you up for Valentine's Day.
For Valentine's Day.
Really, really great. And while you're doing that, you can already start thinking about who your Valentine is going to be. That's if you haven't already got one. But if you already have a Valentine, this is really one way to step it up. Because they say the way to anybody's heart is through the stomach. So make sure that you do that for yourself.
Okay, the gelatin went in there, sugar went in there.
Yeah.
You can now pour this into any mold. If you want to demold it, you can do that.
All right.
But what I absolutely love is when you pour it into a bowl like this. Okay?
Is it because it's flat and wide?
So it'll settle faster. Plus, when you're sitting across the table from that your person.
Yeah.
Okay? Serve your dessert in one dish.
So you eat together?
Make eye contact.
Hey, I see. That's why you're the married one.
And then your spoons accidentally touch. And then you just get shy. Is that your shy face?
You've got to be shy.
You've got to be shy. You
can't say, why are you knocking my spoon?
No, you got to be like...
You have to be like...
Look at us
knocking spoons.
I am doing this for the people.
Yeah.
I'm helping you. Like I said, a married one. This is how...
This is how we're going to get it. This is how we're going to get it.
You set this in the fridge, not in the freezer, never in the freezer. Gelatin does not want to sit in the freezer, so it goes to the fridge, you get it nice and set, and what I say is, yes, you can have it in about 4 hours, it'll sit enough, but it's way better if you set it yesterday, have it the next day, have it the following day, let it spend the night in the fridge.
So now, Sunday for Monday.
Sunday for Monday. Let this sit for a little longer, and then a little piece of mint, that's perfectly fine, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
You'll see, like I said, all that moisture comes out of it. You've now got your beautifully softened berries. You can actually do that, because this is your baby.
All right, all right.
Nice, nice, nice. Make sure you get some of the juices that have come out.
Food
get that on there.
Tabsy.
And then you bring it to the table, okay?
All right.
And then you get some freeze-dried strawberries.
I really do like how the entire crew is standing there just watching and looking, admiring and taking in all of the inspiration because they know they'll get nowhere without this guide.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
So you take it to the table, you stand on the chair in front of your Valentine, and you just like this.
And then they're like shyly looking at you, oh, Clem, I like when you do that.
Like that.
Look at this. Oh, man, this is beautiful. This is inspiring. It is all the Woolies difference. Of course, it's all the seasonal berries. Right now, you want to really be part of that. Ah, Clem, you do know how to please.
Just taste it. Just taste it. Yeah?
Where's your spoon? They're supposed to be knocking each other here. Oh, you're married. Okay.
Married.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Tuesday. We are still going to get into National Epilepsy Week, so you want to stick around for our Health Tuesdays in just a bit.
That's right, and we also have Lost Youth in studio who's going to bring you more performances, so don't go anywhere. But it's that time of the morning for us to take a final look at your headlines. Here's Tupsy.
It's just after 8 o'clock, time for us to take that final look at the news headlines. We start off here at home in South Africa. The National Prosecuting Authority, that's the NPA, has welcomed the conviction of the Walter Sisulu University student Sibongile Mani on theft charges in the East London Regional Court involving 14 million rand that was paid into her NSFAS account by mistake. Now, she subsequently spent more than 800,000 rand over a 3-month period before the error was spotted. The payment she was due to receive was only 1,400 rand. Pre-sentencing proceedings are to be heard on the 18th of March. Staying in South Africa, levels of COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy across the country are declining, and this according to a new survey done by the University of Johannesburg and the Human Sciences Research COVID-19 Democracy Survey. The level of hesitancy among those aged 18 to 24 years has declined by 16 percentage points and by 9 percentage points among 25 to 34-year-olds. Last week, Health Minister Dr. Joe Phaahla said that some 42% of the adult population had been fully vaccinated, and those aged 60 and older continue to lead as the most vaccinated age group. In international news, hundreds of Moroccans have gathered to pay their last respects to little Riaan, the 5-year-old boy who died after being trapped in a well for 4 days. Riaan Oram fell down the 32-meter well on the 1st of February, prompting painstaking efforts to rescue him. The rescue efforts garnered media attention worldwide, and hundreds of mourners attended his funeral yesterday in his home village where the tragedy unfolded. One villager said, and I quote, "I am over 50 years old and have never seen so many people at a funeral. Riaan is the son of us all. May his soul rest in peace." In Australia has announced the reopening of its borders to vaccinated tourists and other visa holders for the first time in almost 2 years. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said, and I quote, "If you're double vaccinated, we look forward to welcoming you back." And the reopening, which will be on the 21st of February, will be welcome news for many sectors, including international education. Australia has had some of the world's strictest border controls throughout the coronavirus pandemic, and in March 2020, the government closed the borders and barred most foreigners from entering the country. A paralyzed man with a severed spinal cord is walking again. Good news thanks to an implant developed by a team of Swiss doctors and researchers. Michael Roccati, an Italian, was paralyzed in a motorbike accident. His spinal cord was completely severed and he had no feelings in his legs, but he can now walk freely due to an electrical implant that has been surgically attached to his spine. It's the first time someone whose spinal cord had been completely severed has been able to walk again. And Professor Jocelyn Bloch, the neurosurgeon who inserted the implant and expertly attached electrodes to individual nerve fibers, said that his recovery pace had amazed her. She said the technology alone didn't drive his recovery. He was determined to walk again. She also did stress that this isn't a cure for spinal injury, but hails it nonetheless as a major step towards improving quality of life. Michael Roccati said, quote, "I can now stand up, walk where I want to. I'm almost leading a normal life." The research has been published in the Journal of Nature Medicine. Good news and advancements in the world of medicine over there. That's where we leave it this morning. Here's a final look at what's happening in the weather with Jamie Lee.
Thank you so much, Uncle Tabsy. On the weather front, some of the KZN North Coast beaches that were closed after shark safety gear was removed last week were reopened yesterday. The KwaDukuza municipality said the KZN Sharks Board started redeploying their nets following the precautionary closure of beaches last week in anticipation of rough weather and cyclone Batsarai. Now, KwaDukuza spokesperson Sipho Mkhize said swimming is now only allowed at beaches where shark safety gear has been restored. Gear has been restored stored at Thompson Bay in Belito and at Salt Rock. Meanwhile, a search has been launched for a mother and her young child who was swept away by the Mvoti River north of Durban. Lifeguards, a paramedic team and police divers are taking part in the search. Witnesses say the mother was trying to cross the fast-flowing river with her baby tied to her back. Heavy rain has caused havoc in some parts of KZN in the past week. Then from weather news to sunrise views, Louise G. Sherry from Valdam kicked us off this morning with this beautiful message. Good morning, Expresso family. What a beautiful start to the morning after all of this rain. Beautiful indeed. And then Neil Naidu from Westbrook, Durban also shared this beautiful and peaceful overcast morning overlooking the ocean as the sun breaks through the cloud cover, casting rays of light across the sky. Rosine Pandy from Westering in the Eastern Cape also kicked off our 7 a.m. update with this gorgeous view overlooking her area, showing off the sun coming up in the distance. And then last but definitely not least, Roxy Mays, who regularly contributes, shared this stunning shot that her daughter Chloe Ann took in Gqeberha. We love to see it. Remember to keep sharing it, and who knows, you might get a feature on your Feel Good Breakfast show. But let me get you geared up for this Tuesday and let you into those weather temperatures for today. For you, Polokwane, it is a low of 17 that will peak at 29. If you do find yourself in Umbombela, do expect a range of 20 to 31 today. Pretoria, for you, it is a low of 19 and a high of 28, as well as Johannesburg can expect some thunder showers coming your way with a range of 17 to 26. Mahikeng, for you, it is a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 31, as well as Klerksdorp can be seen with a range of 16 to 30. For you, Kimberley, do expect a range of 18 to 31. Bloemfontein following shortly with a range of 14 to 29 as well. Richards Bay, do expect some rain coming your way with a range of 18 to 30. Pietermaritzburg, for you, it is 16, 30. And then, of course, South Africa's playground, Durban, ranges from 20 to 29 on this Tuesday. Umtata, for you, it is 16, 33. East London, 21, 30. Cradock can be seen with a low of 17 and a high of 35, as well as Gqeberha, for you, it is 16, 27. George, your low is 16 with a high of 26. The mother city, Cape Town, ranges from 17 to 26 today. Worcester, 15, 37. Sutherland, 13, 31. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 22 to 35. Well, that is where I leave your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Time now to rock out. Well, I don't know. Maybe we're going to strip it back for another beautiful performance by Lost Youth. You did rock out this morning, so thank you for that. I know it's really early to get it going, but now we're going to hit you in the fields with another beautiful track, one of their own. And this one is just for you. It's titled Lost or Cold.
Seem to say what's on my mind. 1,000 things bury me all the time. Do you think you can help me carry the weight of the world? Can't seem to manage it on my own. When did I start caring what everybody thinks? When did I start to sink in the quicksand of 1,000 thoughts a minute? You think they can hear it? The buzzing in my brain. Well, I have 1,000 things I wish I could say. Anyway, even if the people ever stop to listen, I doubt my wishful thinking could ever make a difference. When did I start caring what everybody thinks? When did I start to sink in the quicksand of 1,000 thoughts a minute? You think they can hear it? The buzzing in my brain. everybody thinks. When did I start to sink in the quicksand of 1,000 thoughts a minute? Do you think they can hear it? The poison in my brain.
Wow, beautiful. I have to admit, I thought we were all just walking on and picking up instruments. I was almost going to, if you got in there quickly. Beautiful stuff. One more performance coming from your incredible creative unit here. How can people connect with you online? How can people follow what you're doing and get a gig guide?
So you can find us at Lost Youth Official, pretty much everywhere. We've also got a website. You can find all the tour dates, but it's also like on the Facebook event page.
We will stalk you. Lost Youth are here for one more performance just for you. Stick around.
Summer is as endless as you want it to be this getaway season with your Marriott Bonvoy Stay Longer on Us promotional offer. Get 20% or more off standard room rates when you stay 3 nights or longer at participating Marriott hotels across this magnificent land of ours. To find the participating Marriott hotels at your dream destination and just how good things get when you stay longer on us. Book now on emea.marriott.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso. We're live here on S3 as we open up to all things health this morning on a Tuesday morning. Thank you very much for waking up with us. Now, let's talk about epilepsy. We know that it is a chronic non-communicable condition of the brain that affects an estimated 50 million people globally. It is estimated that up to 70% of people living with epilepsy could live seizure-free if properly diagnosed and treated. That's very important to note. And this morning, we're joined by Wendy Neft and Lauren Frank from the Epilepsy South Africa ahead of National Epilepsy Week to raise all of the awareness that we need to have. Ladies, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tabisa touched on it briefly, but maybe, Lauren, you can unpack that. What exactly is epilepsy and what causes this condition?
Okay, so epilepsy is a physical condition that's characterized through unusual electrical activity in the brain. It is also a symptom of a neurological condition that is evident through reoccurring seizures.
Okay.
So approximately 66% of cases where the underlying cause of epilepsy is unknown, and this is referred to as idiopathic epilepsy. The rest of the cases make up symptomatic epilepsy, which refers to where the underlying causes of epilepsy are known. So just a few examples of the possible causes are head injury, birth injury, where there's a lack of oxygen during birth, degeneration, which means aging or getting older, excessive use of drugs and alcohol, or biochemical imbalances or disturbances in the brain.
So who can get epilepsy? I mean, yes, you've mentioned some of the areas and the trauma sort of factors that can take place and trigger for somebody to get that. But are some people more susceptible to getting or having epilepsy than others, Wendy?
Yes, no, epilepsy, as you say, is not contagious. And I think that's one of the first things. Often in families, people say, oh, my aunt has, my mother has. Well, I also develop seizures, you know. Epilepsy can occur at any time in your lifetime, from birth, and that could be either during the birthing process, where there's a lack of oxygen, or head injuries. And as you go, often in your adolescence, you can also start having seizures. And then, of course, as the person grows older, often a person who's seizure-free or doesn't have epilepsy, as Lauren said, it's a recurring pattern.
Oh, wow.
One seizure doesn't mean epilepsy.
Okay.
It's
So
recurring,
it has to be recurring for it
all the time.
Yes,
Correct.
I see.
So even when you are older, through, particularly with violence in our country, head injuries, trauma cases, you can develop injury to the brain, a particular lesion on the brain. And then there's other conditions, medical conditions, that also with the degeneration could also trigger seizures in the brain.
Got it. I'll actually never forget this. One day I was actually seeing someone get a seizure. It was in my neighborhood, and someone went to run and got a spoon. And I'm sure you're looking at me like, no, this is not what you do. But what should you be doing when someone is getting a seizure? And maybe speak us through like the treatment options available if someone is diagnosed with epilepsy.
Okay, so the first thing to do is to remain calm.
Which is a hard thing to do if somebody's obviously going through a seizure.
It is, because you automatically go into that panic state like, oh my word, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
So the first thing to do is to remain calm and probably breathe, to be reassuring, because the person that's experiencing the seizure at that given point in time is unaware. Then the next thing to do is to time the seizure. So to time how long it lasts. If it lasts longer than 6 minutes, then it's very important to contact emergency services. The next thing to do is to also protect the person from any injuries. And this can be done by cushioning the head, by loosening any tight clothing that the person may be wearing, to not put anything in the person's mouth, and to not restrict movement. Then following that is just to also help the person breathe better by turning the person onto his or her side into the first aid recovery position. And then it's also important to stay with the person until they are fully recovered. Then following that, the last thing to do is to inform the person once they're fully recovered, to inform the person what had happened so that they can record this information in their seizure diaries, which is also a valuable aid for the medical team.
Well, what are the stages of an epileptic seizure? And while you tell us about the stages of it so that we're able to identify one, maybe let's get into treatment options, which I think becomes the very important part of this conversation. What options are there?
Okay, so it's important to bear in mind that the only person that can diagnose someone with epilepsy is a medical professional that follows a clinical assessment. There are a range of treatments that are available that assist persons with epilepsy and also improve their overall quality of life. So these ranges from prescribed medication to surgical procedures. However, with regards to surgical procedures, it's important to note that this is only deemed viable on recommendation by a neurologist. Then in terms over and above medication and surgery, there are other alternatives such as the ketogenic diet, which is a strict diet that's high in fats and carbohydrates. Then there's the vagus nerve stimulation therapy that also aims to lessen and reduce the frequency and intensity of seizures.
Wow, lots to unpack in a good breakfast show. Lauren and Wendy is not going anywhere. If you'd like to find out more about epilepsy or need support, you can call Epilepsy SA on 0860-374-537 or visit their website at epilepsy.org.za. But like I said, they're not going anywhere. We're continuing this conversation in just a bit.
Well, we are about to continue the delicious recipes in the kitchen, and it's time for us to whip up a scrumptious dinner, and this recipe you do not want to miss out on.
Made with love by Clover.
I think we should make a little promise to ourselves. At least one night every month, there should be an Italian night in, and we are not talking about ordering any takeaways or any pizzas. We want to explore the bellissimo flavors Italian cuisine has to offer, like the Moorish creamy tomato risotto that we're about to show you. And if you're concerned about lactose intolerance, don't worry, Clover No Lac comes to your rescue. They are here to help you through, and of course, we still have Mikeli in studio with us to help us with this delicious recipe. Risotto is one of my favorite dishes, and I've never made it myself.
So I think if you've read through any like cookbook or anything, they always talk about, you know, you got to know what you're doing when you decide to make a risotto, especially if you're doing it for somebody. So maybe with Valentine's Day.
That could be a good
recipe. Teaching experience, you know?
A good teaching experience.
Because there are intricacies to risotto, but I think once you've made it once and you understand the process, it's actually, I mean, it's rice and a few flavorings, so it's such an easy dish.
You're making it sound very, very easy. So you can get started on getting the flavor profile building. But I find that risotto, surely there should be a cheat way to make the risotto.
So, I mean, if you look into, so let's just get this thing going. A lot of recipe books, I know Jamie Oliver actually patented like a cheats recipe and a way to make it easier, where you don't have to do all the stirring and you don't have to do the slow tempering process. But I think making it authentically, especially like it adds to the process, and the process of stirring, I feel when you kind of fall in love with the food while you're cooking it, it just tastes so much better.
I think it will also come through.
Yeah, absolutely. So with risotto, the most important thing is you got to have your stock ready. You can make your own stock, you can buy stock. Nice to keep it warm in a pot next to your actual process on the oven, but if you've got it in a jar like this, it's so easy to decant. So that's the first thing. We have a special rice. It's a very short grain rice, high gluten content, and that's what gives rice that the risotto, like that beautiful sticky consistency. You really can't make risotto with anything other than your short grain rice. Cool. So with your pan on medium heat, a little bit of olive oil goes into the pan. All right, and we're just going to start the process. We're going to start browning the onion. It's just one white onion, nice and finely diced. Cool. So while that happens, you obviously want to take this as far as you need to. The longer you cook it, the sweeter it becomes, and it really gives your risotto a depth of flavor. So that's important.
Now, I'm thinking, you come from an Italian background. How often do you have, you know, the Italian cuisine in your household?
So quite often. I mean, I think when you grow up in an Italian family, you fall so in love with Italian cuisine. And I have such vivid memories of my Italian nonna. Like every Christmas, you'd find her slaving away. And the risotto never changed.
Okay.
It was a saffron risotto that was no flavoring, just purely made exactly how her gran taught her. And these traditions moved on, and that's where I learned to make risotto.
Okay.
So yeah, every time I make it, and every time I make any Italian food, it's such a nostalgic thing. So quite regularly, actually.
Okay, well, listen, he is bringing this to your screens right now. And remember, we are using our Clover No Lac. So if you experience symptoms such as stomach cramps, some eczema, bloating, and nausea after consuming dairy, it may be that you are lactose intolerant. And with Clover No Lac, you can enjoy dairy again with these versatile lactose-free range. Clover No Lac is pre-treated with the enzyme lactase to break down lactose that makes it easier to digest, and it also is nutrient-rich. And tomatoes are also packed with antioxidants and are the tanginess of, you know, that they bring that flavor to any dish that you want. And of course, you've got the onions ready there. I believe now's the next step is?
So nice low heat. We found a perfect temperature. It's a medium, low, medium heat. Now we're going to add some flavor to our risotto. So just have a garlic clove that's finely diced. We have these beautiful tomatoes that we just diced up. You really don't have to do too much to them. You can add that in there.
So some freshly chopped tomatoes.
Sun-dried tomatoes brings a lot of flavor. It's a beautiful ingredient to work with. So you can add that in there as well. Cool, and then we're going to season it. Let's season that first. Salt and pepper always.
Always a winner.
Yeah. And fresh Italian herbs. This is just a combination of Italian herbs that's freeze-dried. Right, put that in there, and then the rice goes in. And what you want to do here, you're essentially deglazing. You're picking up all those flavors, making it stick to the rice. But at the same time, the dry rice and the oil in the pan, you're kind of dry roasting.
Okay.
So you're marrying all these flavors together. You're dry roasting the rice a little bit, just for a minute or two. Essentially, you let it sort of marry all the flavors and just give it some time in the pan. And
I feel like the time they give us to make this recipe
not
is
enough.
not enough to show you how to make a proper risotto. But within 30 seconds,
Cool.
I mean, this is now the TV version of our delicious risotto that you're making. I know that the stock plays a big role.
It does, yeah. So always a little bit of sweetness. Once you've caramelized that, little teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, as with any recipe with tomatoes. And then what happens is you add, I would say, half a cup at a time. So half a cup goes in on your medium-high heat. That's a little bit too low. You bring that to a boil. You cook it down until the stock is gone. You do the same process over and over. And it really is how you feel, and you go to a consistency that you like, as cooked or as uncooked as you like. Right? And once you reach a point where you're really happy with it, beautiful Parmesan cheese are sort of creamy elements and the nice no-lac product. So you've got your risotto, you add 2 tablespoons of no-lac, half the cheese, add it up, and the nice Parmesan over the top.
And we are using the Clover No-Lac lactose-free plain low-fat drink snack for our little bit of creamy elements. And if you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe, we have the recipe available for you on our website. That's expressoshow.com. Mikili, this looks incredible. I can't wait for it to be absolutely finished, because this is going to be my breakfast.
You know, it's not a breakfast item, but I'm super excited to eat it as well.
Well, there we go. The recipe is available on our website, expressoshow.com.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Tuesday. We're still continuing our health discussion this morning. And of course, we still have the representatives, Wendy Neft and Lauren Frank from Epilepsy South Africa with us as we discuss National Epilepsy Week and its importance, and also to raise awareness about this very important topic. So thank you, ladies, for staying with us.
Thank you. So, ladies, the thing is, and that's the bottom line of what you are saying to us, the message is loud and clear, is that not all disabilities are visible, right? And epilepsy is just one of those conditions that really do manifest in ways that aren't always necessarily visible. And that's why we've got the National Epilepsy Awareness Week. What is it all about, and why is it so important to shine the spotlight on this?
Okay. I think importantly, as you said, it is an invisible condition. And I think for us as Epilepsy South Africa nationally and internationally, We're using the theme of 60 million steps for epilepsy this year.
60 million
60 million steps. And that comes from statistics from the World Health Organization that states that 60 million people approximately in the world has epilepsy.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And if you want to disaggregate it, then it's 1 in every 100. One in every 100. It's the most common neurological condition.
Wow.
But the problem is, and you'll hear about the myths and the misconceptions about it. So Epilepsy Week annually, they use the word commemorate, but I think it is to actually escalate awareness about challenges and then also successes. But why should we separate people with epilepsy? We all have challenges and we all have achievement. But within disability, there are very specific challenges that faces people with epilepsy. So we have, in terms of the 50 million steps, as I said, the International Bureau for Epilepsy. This campaign started on the 10th of January and is leading up to the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yay. And if I may just add in there, we all know Valentine has been, they say, is a patron saint of epilepsy. But this morning, watching your show, and I looked at that panna cotta that was done, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I need some now.
Don't worry, I've
we all
left some for you.
celebrate panna cottas on Valentine's Day the way we celebrate and escalate issues from policy levels to really basic levels within the country. So our role as Epilepsy South Africa is to take that 60 million steps. We looked at the website and we've already achieved internationally 50 million steps.
Oh, I love it.
So that's
beautiful
compared to last year, which had the same theme. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about stepping forward into life to create awareness of people with disabilities and epilepsy. It's to create awareness of how you internalize information, because information is out there.
Yeah.
We can speak about it.
Yes.
But how do we internalize information in order to facilitate acceptance, inclusion, get away from discrimination? Because epilepsy, I'm just going to add in there, it's not witchcraft. Heard from Lauren, it's a medical condition. It's a neurological condition. And if managed properly, it can be managed.
I love that.
Love it. And I love that you guys reached that target with that 50 million steps
Correct.
already.
Yeah.
But I believe there is a theme for this week's National Epilepsy Week. What exactly is it?
Okay, so our branch in the Western Cape, just to add that we have branches in 5 provinces in the country. So people can reach out via our website. And very quickly, people always want to know, if we do, not just in the Western Cape, we have South Cape Group, Eastern Cape, up to Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Free State, and then a national office in Gauteng. So a lot of work is done virtually also between us. People can reach out via the website or 860 Epilepsy to get hold of the nearest branch. So we are there. So Epilepsy Week is about creating awareness of what services, what information, and also, besides just advocating for the rights of people with disabilities, what we also do is to build capacity by providing them with information such as the UN Convention, and then, of course, the Constitution, White Paper on Disability, so that they can themselves enable themselves in order to take a step forward.
And kill the stigma, but also survive, live and thrive. Lauren, before we let you go, very, very quickly, the one message you want to leave everybody with when it comes to this level of awareness, what is it?
Okay, so it's to break the stigma and break the barriers that persons with epilepsy and also other disabilities are facing. So like Wendy mentioned, there are various myths and misconceptions about epilepsy. So we'd like to break that stigma. For example, persons with epilepsy cannot work. This has severely impacted persons with epilepsy in finding work because there's this notion that they cannot work. So we'd like to break that stigma and break the barriers that persons with epilepsy face worldwide.
That's exactly what you're doing right now. Ladies, thank you so much for this very important conversation. Again, if you would like to reach out, that number is on your screen right now. However, you can also visit that website, which is epilepsy.org.za.
Thank you so much, team. Time now to get back onto our Expresso stage with the awesome young rockers that are Lost Youth. And of course, they're going to be performing this Thursday night at District, and you've got to see them live. If you can't make it there, well, then you're just going to have to sit exactly where you are right now. They're back with another performance. And this is another track of their debut EP. This one is called Last Time. Take it away.
This lesson before, almost forgotten the pain that you caused before. You don't know how to be happy, so you push everyone away. You didn't know how to trust me, so you fight every word that I say. I let you take me up just to hold me down. Want me to yourself, so you fill me with doubt. Fire in your heart burning out. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time you ever hold me. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time I'll ever change me. That was the last time, that was the last time. Said I wouldn't do this again, but you make it easy to fall. This love's a losing game. We can't pretend anymore. I let you trip me up just to hold me down. Want me to yourself, so you fill me with doubt. Fire in your heart, blow me out. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time you ever hold me. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time I'll ever change me. That was the last time, that was the last time. I know those long nights try to die fights, so always chose you. We were caught by the sunrise, as my tears dry as I fall back to you. But that was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time you ever hold me. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time I'll ever change me. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time you ever hold on me. That was the last time, that was the last time. That was the last time I let love change me. That was the last time, that was the last time.
Yay, absolutely, that was the last time. Oh, it is heartbreaking, you guys are awesome. Do you have a little rock out there? I saw that. I saw that. Sneaky, absolutely amazing. We'll keep their social media details up on our social media platforms. Show them a little bit of love. Let us know what you thought of these amazing performances, and of course, catch them live and in the flesh at the District this Thursday night. You guys are amazing. Are you going to smash the guitar now? Just do it, man. Just do it. Rock out. We'll see you in a moment.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our health discussion this morning, but from a slightly different perspective. Many of us have our own furry friends at home that are literally part of our families. However, dogs are so much more than just companions. We've proven that on this show countless times. Dogs are incredibly smart and intuitive creatures that are able to learn how to assist and support people with various medical conditions such as blindness, we know, autism, deafness, and mobility issues, to name just a few. Well, this morning we are joined by Lucy Breitenbach, the director and founder of Honey's Garden for Medical Alert Dogs South Africa, as she shares her extensive knowledge on this fascinating matter and has brought through the supermodel of service dogs. Callie is so beautiful and a little obsessed with you and her treats.
Is it a treat?
But welcome, Lucy. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Lucy, I was just sharing that my knowledge with interaction with service dogs and even as far as guide dogs was very limited until I got to university, where service dogs were on campus and with, you know, with their owners. How extensive is the training process for a doggo like Callie, and do all of them pass and become service dogs?
Gosh, it's a very extensive training program. They can train anything up to 2 years to become a full medical service dog. Some of them don't pass, no, they haven't all got all the skills necessary, but if they don't pass, we do find them good homes as well. But yeah, it can take up to 2 years to train them.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to really bond with a number of different breeds, and the great joy of dogs is how different each breed is, and I would imagine each kind of genetic predisposition comes with a certain kind of ability in various fields. Are certain breeds more adept at dealing with certain medical conditions? How do you kind of work out, or do all dogs have the potential to be service dogs?
So not all dogs have the potential to be service dogs, unfortunately, but we don't go by breed specifics. We more look at the personality of the dog, the body shape and style of the dog for that condition, depending on what they're going to be doing as tasks. But yeah, we use anything from pedigree, Spaniels, Labradors, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, right down to rescue dogs, Bruckies, Afrikaners, Sighthounds. We have a full range of different types of dogs, but we select them based on their personality. They have to be confident, have good work ethic, want to please their person all the time. And yeah, be trainable and willing to work, really.
Yeah. I'm seeing the little bib that Callie is wearing, and it says, do not touch. When it comes to working with a service dog, for someone watching, you see the dog, you get excited. What is the etiquette around a service dog?
Don't touch the service dog, please. It really does distract them, and unless the person that is handling them says to the dog, you can say hello, then in that case it's okay. But majority of the time it's best not to touch them or make noises at them. We get a lot of people trying to get their attention.
Can you ask the owner if you're allowed to touch? Because I struggle with that. I really, really do, especially when they are so ridiculously beautiful and cute as that. No, but I get that because they've trained their mind as much as their physical responses to do a particular job, and if you're going to constantly distract them in that process, you're doing a major disservice. How do we link the right person to the right dog? How does this process actually work?
Sure, so it's quite an intricate matching process. So we have to really get to know the family that the dog is required for, the specific person as well as their lifestyle, their working commitments, their other people living in their household, other dogs, pets living in their household. And then we match the characters of the dogs we have to those people. Also their ability to do the work, because a lot of these people have completely invisible diseases that they live with lifelong, and they're normal people. They go out, some people go out hiking, some people work in an office all day, some kids are still at school. So we need to match the right personality of the dog to that lifestyle, which is quite tricky. We don't always get it right, but most of the time we do, and we work very closely with the family to make sure that it is the right dog for them, for their needs,
And added to that, you put countless hours of work into to train these amazing pups. cups. You are beautiful. Stop making eyes at me, and I'm not allowed to come over there and cuddle you. I promise you, I would be definitely doing that. Lucy, thank you so much for the work that you are doing on behalf of everyone that you've helped.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can follow at Medical Alert Dogs or go to medicalalertdogs.co.za to find out more. Possibly if you are looking for a little assistance, get some information. Most importantly, if you want to support the amazing work that they are doing, that's where you can find out exactly how to do that.
Okay, we love our dogs and they do bring us lots and lots of joy. But, you know, risotto also does bring us lots of joy, right? Isn't risotto just the best? It is. And if, like many, you simply can't get enough, this next recipe will keep your obsession alive. Using Nolex roasted tomato risotto recipe we made earlier on the show, you know, Jamie is going to be showing us, and I trust her so much, going to show us how to transform a delicious bowl of risotto into a comforting snack.
Actually, this is going to be a 2-in-1 because you're going to be helping me do this. Because like you were saying earlier on, you and Chef Clem were doing like date night.
Yes.
It's perfect for Valentine's Day as well.
Okay,
so you
great.
use the leftover food, the leftover risotto, and then you're going to make your arancini balls with it. So
I
this
love
is the
that.
risotto from earlier on.
That sounds very, very fancy. Arancini balls.
Arancini. You have to say it like...
And I looked at the picture earlier on the graphics that we've got and what the final product looks like, and I thought, why are we making maguinha in February?
This is a
But
bougie.
This is a bougie.
maguinha. Okay, so how to start is we're going to start with the risotto that we used earlier on, and we're going to roll it into balls. So you're going to put it in your hands. This is where you're going to get like really into it.
All right.
You can take your cheese, and then you are just going to close it up. So you can either take some more.
I can already tell what's going to be happening there. I can already tell the magic that's going to happen. So I'm telling you, because obviously they're going to be fried, right? The cheese melting out into your risotto so nicely. It's the richest thing, and it's the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
I love that, okay?
And you're going to get your hands very dirty, and you're going to make everything else very dirty. And so then there you have it. You obviously want it to be nice and cool and chilled out before you go into the next step, which is called...
Panaying.
Panaying.
Panaying now.
We're going to panaying something. So we're going to take the
Stick
risotto
around
balls.
me, Jamie. I'll teach you these technicalities when it comes to cooking. Now we're panaying them.
We are panaying them. So we're going to put it into the flour. And then into the egg.
Nice. I can tell that you...
Oopsie. Well,
I was
not
just
like
about
this.
to say, I can tell that you've done this lots of times before. Take it back.
Take it back. Okay, it's falling apart, but usually because you want it to be...
But that's because you would have obviously made the balls, you know, a bit earlier on, and you would let them, you know, dry up a little bit before you do that. So that's fine. Just the magic of TV, that's what it would look like once your balls are done, and then you would, you know, be quite solid.
Yeah, and so, again, just try to do it twice, because you really just want to keep all that flavors together. So
nice.
put it in the self-raising flour, put it in the egg, and put it in the breadcrumbs, and then do it twice. And then you're going to pop it in to your hot oil like that.
And then listen to the sizzle.
Listen to the sizzle.
While that's happening, I want some mayo and some sriracha going in there. Can you imagine what this sauce is going to be like, this combination?
Dit gaan soos nog proe.
It's going to sauce and with the tongue up your pee-pee. What is the line? That line.
That one.
And so now this is going. So mayo and sriracha coming together nicely. And so the nice thing about them is that you can really make lots, yeah? Because risotto, you can make big quantities, like heavy, loaded quantities, and it can really last a really, really long time. You can put this in the fridge after you're done with making them, and they will last a long time. They'll be delivering all of the magic and all of the flavor for a long time to come. That's what they look like when they're done.
They're done.
Look at those balls, the homemade roasted tomato arancini. The recipe is available on expressoshow.com with all of the ingredients and a step-by-step guide of how to bring it all together. I'm going to taste quickly.
Please
and then I'll tell you what I think.
This is what I'm cooking for Valentine's Day, so you are the taster.
Okay, cool. So you're hoping to win my heart?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
Is it a win? Are you falling in love with me?
Yes.
Guys, it's the first time you're hugging. I feel like something's going to happen. Are you okay? Are you dying?
Is
everything okay? Okay. It's good? Give it a thumbs up. There we go. Expressoshow.com is where you can get your hands on this recipe for arancini.
breakfast show has been known for a little karaoke, and this is the time that we have to shine or not so much. You can let us know how we fare on the Expresso Facebook page. We are joined by I'm talking about a crazy talented Carly J. Myers, who has been on the show, the last couple of weeks. And I mean, I can tell you, you have been sensational with your songs, like authentically yours.
Yeah.
Come on.
I remember the goosebumps clearly on that day. You gave me shivers, you gave me the feels. You inspired me to try sing, and that's, I think, why I'm here today, to try and see if I can hold the stage with you.
So we're not gonna, well, we're gonna try to sing, but Carly J. Myers will be doing most of the singing. We'll be doing the ad-libs and backup, so don't judge us, sing with us. Yes. The song we have chosen is iconic. It is from a movie that is just ready to grease up your day. Grease. So it works so beautifully. Here it comes. You're the one that I want, Mzansi. Are we ready? Yeah. Let's go. Raul, it's you and I. We're trying to win over Carly. I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control. Because the power you're supplying, it's electrifying.
Better shape up, cause I need a man. And my heart is set on you.
That heart is set on me.
Better shape up, you better understand. To my heart I must be true. Nothing left for me to do. You're the one that I want. You are the one I want. The one that I want. You are the one I want. The one that I want. You are the one I want. The one I need. Oh yes indeed.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm feeling this.
Okay, are you filled with affection?
You feel with affection.
Yes, I am, baby.
You're too shy to convey.
I ain't shy.
You meditate in my direction.
What do I have to do?
Feel me away.
No problem.
I better shape up.
Because I need a man.
I need a man who can keep me satisfied.
That's right, baby.
Better shape up. If I'm gonna prove, you better prove that my faith is justified. Yes, I'm sure that deep inside, you're the one I want.
The one I want. Carly.
The one I want. You are the one I want.
Carly.
The one I want. You are the one I want. The one I need. Oh yes, indeed.
I love that note, Carly. You just nailed it, brother. Carly.
The one that I want. You are
the one I want. Carly.
The one that I want.
Oh, the one I want.
The one I need. Oh yes, indeed.
Oh, the one I want. The one I want. Carly.
The one that I want. You are the one I want. The one I need.
Life is what you make it. However you choose to shake, bake, and celebrate it. Here's to a great 2022. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.